VOO is the symbol, and basically just dollar cost average in there over your life, and the S&P has performed pretty well. No guarantee, but when you're dollar cost averaging, when it's down, you're getting more shares. When it's up, you get less shares. But call now. We'll put together a real plan for you all the way through retirement at no cost.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900. Or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
A bull riding contest. I'm signing up.
You've never ridden a bull.
No, but I won playing a new Bucks Loaded Edition scratch-off, and I'm on a roll.
But they're loaded with $50, $100, and $200 prizes.
Oh, I'm riding the Widowmaker.
Go for the win with new Bucks Loaded Edition scratch-offs and digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.72 to 4.75. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
June is Men's Health Month, and here's a tough truth. Only about 28% of men meet federal guidelines for both aerobic activity and muscle strengthening exercise. Meanwhile, obesity, poor sleep, stress, and inactivity rates continue to rise. Here's a health tip from Kraft Body Scan. Long-term health rarely comes from extreme changes. Consistency is what matters most. More movement, better sleep, improved nutrition, and fewer excuses to get to it later. Get moving on healthier habits today.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to protect people's health, to preserve magnificent places and wildlife, and to combat climate change. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can gift to a child.
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to RitchieLaw.com.
That's RitchieLaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It is hot and humid out there for us this morning. 92, really feeling like summer. A small chance of scattered storms from the Triangle area northward. Warm again tonight at 73, mainly cloudy, and then partly cloudy for tomorrow with a high of 99. We could see a heat advisory posted. We also have a small chance for severe storms, especially from the Triangle area northward.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 759 points today to 50,112.
Oh, shot out in front. Lively boards. They score! Right off the hop. Logan Stankoven. Hall puts it through. They score! Jackson Blake. Another power play goal. Here's a chance against your traffic. Shoot, and they score! The captain again! Jarvis all alone now. Back out in front for Stahl. A backhand. He scores! He scores again! And we're headed back to Raleigh. Tied at 2. Canes with a 5-3 win in game number 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. How are you feeling, Canes fans? 2-2 and on the way back to Raleigh. Brandon Bussey, how you feeling? Jordan Stahl, Rod Brindamore, Canes fans. Have you slept yet? Probably not. Last night was electric. As this entire series, Stanley Cup Final, has been electric. And I don't expect anything to change with the series moving forward. Matter of fact, you'll hear me say this throughout the show. Could we just shake hands at center ice and agree to just start the third period tied? Hey, let's put 17 minutes on the clock and start it tied, so we don't have to go through the emotional turmoil of getting up 2 or down 2 or up 4, down 4, and having to have the other team storm back. Let's just skip the theatrics of it all and jump to the third period tied. That's where it's going to end up anyway with these two teams, no matter how it starts, no matter how bad the second period is. It's been electric. It's been fun. Some are calling it the best Stanley Cup Final through 4 games in history. I bet you that's not a coach that focuses on defense or goaltending. But either way, the Canes won a gotta-have-it, must-win Game 4. They now come back to Raleigh 2-2. It is essentially a 3-game series, and the Canes have home ice advantage for that 3-game series with home ice in Games 5, which is tomorrow, and Game 7, which would be next week. It is a incredible series. I'm Tim Donnelly, Max Gorin producing the show today, and now that I've just started my excitement, just got it rolling a little bit, first time I got to talk on air about the win, we will still start the show the same way we always do. Let's talk Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Big 3 at 3 is presented by Mainer Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Whatever you have going on with your house, service you can trust, Mainer Service Company, MainerServices.com, M-A-Y-N-O-R services.com. How about Brandon Bussey? Brandon Bussey, he's not a rookie, but I'm going to call him a rookie because he is a rookie. It's just that the NHL doesn't acknowledge it when you're a certain age. Undrafted, waiver wire pickup, rookie goalie, doesn't play for 2 months, comes in Game 3 in a ridiculous situation, sparks his team to a near incredible comeback, then in his first start gets the win in a must-win, gotta-have-it Game 4 Stanley Cup Final. In his first postseason start, let alone his first Stanley Cup Final start. Now let's be realistic. Was he perfect? No. Was he good enough to win the game that absolutely had to be won? You're darn right. And because if it would have went poorly, I know that the criticizers would have been out in full force. Give Rod Brind'Amour credit. Made the move, right? Gave Freddie the day off, the full day off. Didn't even have him dressed. Pyotr Kochetkov was the backup. Gave him the net. Gave Brandon Bussey the net with no reason to look over his shoulder, and it worked. And I want to be super honest on this, and I said this before the game. You can go find the timestamps on Twitter. Regardless of what happened in the game, I was on record saying Brandon Bussey was the right move. So if he gave up 6, I would have been here defending it today. But he didn't. He gave up 3.
I think it was a pretty fairly consensus opinion among the Canes fan base that they wanted to see Brandon Bussey get the start. I think what the poll that was in the YouTube chat of this show was like 88% or something for Brandon Bussey, and that ends up being the play and goal for Carolina. Now, we don't truly know what the health status is for Frederik Andersen. They say it's just a day off, a scratch. Mm-hmm. This time of the year, you never know what kind of gamesmanship might be going on. But I like that the side note of it all, too, is that with Pyotr Kochetkov getting to dress as the backup, now he will get his name on the Stanley Cup should the Hurricanes secure 2 out of these next 3 and win the Cup. They wouldn't have to put in like a special request or anything because now he's technically appeared or dressed for a game in the Stanley Cup Final. So that's a nice little side note. But glad Brandon Bussey was able to get it done. All the goals that he got beat on, I mean, you can't really put any of them on him. The great breakaway move by Mark Stone, a one-timer in the slot, pretty wide open, is hard to get to, coming around the net, and then just a sick toe drag release, bar down, perfect shot from Brett Howden on the third one, and he got to all the rest. So he did what he had to do and did enough to get the win.
And as I said yesterday on the show, right, there was a lot of talk about Bussey or Freddie, Freddie or Bussey, Bussey or Freddie. It almost felt like that was the matchup. The matchup was Carolina versus Vegas. It was Bussey versus Carter Hart, and Carter Hart gave up 1 more.
Now Carter Hart has the historical label of being the first goaltender in NHL history to give up 4 goals in the first 4 games of the Stanley Cup Final, which if you look at what goaltending used to look like 40, 50 years ago, and maybe even less, like the fact that no one else has given up that many goals in 4 straight games. I guess maybe previous goalies, if they gave up that many, were getting pulled. Is that why? Like, It just seems crazy that a goaltender in 2026 could be the first to give up that many.
And 4 consecutive.
I guess that's the big
It only took
there.
one game where you gave up 3, and you give up 7 in all the others. It's a kind of a specific stat. Here's another stat for you. Bussy is just the 3rd goalie to make his first career playoff start in the Stanley Cup Final and win, joining Hank Bassin from 1961 and Alfie Moore from 1938. He's the first undrafted goalie in history to make his first career playoff start in the Stanley Cup Final. No moment's too big for that guy. His pulse should be investigated. It should be researched, how he can stay so calm and chill. That's number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
How you feel, Jordan Staal? How do you feel? Jordan Staal is the number 1 reason they won that game last night. The number 1 reason they won that game last night is the 37-year-old who scored 20 goals this season for the first time in like a decade. He has 5 goals through 4 games of the Stanley Cup Final. And I know you've all seen that stat, but I just want to say it out loud because it's that incredible. And he's doing everything. He's winning faceoffs. He's defending. He's scoring goals. He's leading. He's doing everything, and it truly strikes me as I don't know if you can coach, motivate. I don't know if you can inject what he's feeling into somebody. The only way you get that type of urgency, that type of gotta have it, is to go 6,200 plus days between opportunities to score in a Stanley Cup Final. He's playing like someone who understands the aging process, the passage of time, in a way that only decades can teach you. Right? The knowledge that no matter how good you are, no matter how awesome the contracts look on the book, no matter how young you are, a chance like this might never come around again, and he's not going to let anything be a regret. He is or the main reason that the Canes just tied up the series and are coming back to Raleigh 2-2. It's incredible. And if you want some stats, just because these are fun, they put it up, the graphic up. Last 3 instances of a player with 5 or more goals through the first 4 Stanley Cup Finals games are Jordan Staal, Mario Lemieux in 1992, and Wayne Gretzky in 85. Fits right in.
Decent company to keep.
Fits right in.
Decent company. I mean, that game was, and there's more to play, so he could even add on to it, but I was saying that game last night was like Jordan Stahl's magnum opus as the captain of the Hurricanes.
Absolutely. The stickless penalty kill. I mean, how it felt 20 minutes long. What was it?
It did feel like he was up there for
seconds?
a while, but it was the long change, the period of the long change, so he couldn't go over and get a stick from the far bench. But he stayed positionally sound that whole time, and they managed to weather that. And he's just laying it all on the line because I think he knows this could be the last chance he has to win the cup. It's not to say that they won't have a really good team again next year and likely make the playoffs and make another run at it, but you never know with the Stanley Cup. He didn't make it back for 17 years, and now that he's got the opportunity, he's making the most of it.
First player with a 4-game goal streak to open the Stanley Cup Final since Mike Bossy did it in 1982. Like every stat, every situation, every category that he goes into, it's him and just all-time legendary greats. And if that happens enough, you are who you hang out with, right? The motivational thing, like you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like in our history books, like you are the 5 people that you most often are found on statistical lists with. Now, obviously, he's a different player, different era. We're not going to knock him for not being Mario Lemieux and Mike Bossy and Wayne Gretzky. But when it comes to this Stanley Cup Final performance, those are the names that he is going to be peers with.
And this is the type of stuff that could maybe accelerate the timeline of us looking up to the ceiling at Lenovo Center and seeing 2 banners that say Stahl instead of just 1.
Don't rush him there, though. He's got work to do.
He's already the franchise leader in games played, or I guess Carolina Hurricanes leader in games played. He has work to do. I don't know about Whalers history, but
this year and likely beyond this year. I know that there's an image that maybe I want to see of him winning the cup, hoisting the cup, passing the C over to Aho and skating into the distance. But then I'm watching him play going, oh, he's got 4 more years. What are we doing here?
This guy finished 5th in Selke voting this year. Let's not forget that.
This dude's a monster. There's no way. So we'll have those conversations when we need to have those conversations. Right now, there's a game tomorrow, and he has to be one of, if not the best player on the ice again. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
Logan Stankoven, a.k.a. Stanky, a.k.a. Stanker, a.k.a. the Bulldog, a.k.a. Tone Setter, a.k.a. first goal scorer prediction. Pick him every time. You'll be just fine. Logan Stankoven, a.k.a. the new example every time an NHL draft prospect is below 5'10". You're going to point to him and say, Stanky can do it. Why is he falling down draft boards? Have you seen Logan Stankoven this postseason? He's the guy now. You want some stats? Jordan Staal, who we just brought up, now has the second longest Carolina Hurricanes goal streak, 4 games, tied with some others. You know who has the longest? Logan Stankoven from earlier this postseason with 5. 6 first goals for his team. The dude is 23 years old. He's under contract for the next 8 years. People weren't sure, and when I say people, maybe I'm included, maybe I'm not. If you have a memory, you already know. People were not sure he could be a second-line center in the NHL. Weren't sure if his size could put up with the physicality of the postseason. Weren't sure if he was the type of player that would hold them back, be an anchor on the team when it comes to a Stanley Cup Final or an Eastern Conference Final. He has been an accelerator. And he scored the first goal early, too. Almost too early. If it would have been first 35 seconds, I would have thought it was a bad omen. He waited till, a little over a minute into the game. A-okay there. The guy is playing outside of his mind. 11th goal of the playoffs, which is now moved past Eric Staal in 2009 to be solo second in individual postseason goals scored by one player.
So he's 1 goal away from tying his coach, I believe.
And Rod Brindamore, I think, he's probably the number 1 rooting for him to pass that record. Rod Brindamore would get to coach the guy that breaks his single-season, postseason goal-scoring record. Hopefully ending in the same way it did for Rod Brindamore in 2006. Do you know why I say Rod Brindamore would be rooting for it? Because you may be sitting there going, Rod Brindamore rooting for an individual stat? He doesn't do that. Well, how about this? Logan Stankoven has scored in 9 games this postseason. The Carolina Hurricanes are 9-0. That's why you want him to score. That's why you want that line playing the way they've been playing. Because Blake scored, Hall, point, right? There's a line that is leveled up 15 times late in the regular season since the Olympic break. I'll say they've leveled up in respect, in play, in so many ways 15 times, including last night.
Yeah, it was a great heads-up play, too, by Stankoven. He read that those boards in Vegas, I don't know if they're full of, rubber or something, like the lively bounces, but played it perfectly and ended up with the puck right in front of the net for the opening goal. And they were talking about it after the game on the panel, too, something about the boards there in Vegas. They get some hot bounces. We saw it on the Ehlers empty net goal as well. There's just some weird caroms and lively hops, but they played it well. And on the game winner in second overtime for Vegas in Game 3, it is apparently known, right? It's for anyone that's ever played roulette, where you think it's zero, the ball on the wheel is zeroing in on where you think it's going to go, and then it just takes that one last little zoop. Apparently that's what the entire rink is like for the Vegas Golden Knights. 2-2, the series tied tomorrow, Lenovo Center. Weather permitting, we'll be out there on the plaza, taking in the pregame festivities. The electricity, if the electricity is what it was last night in the arena for an away game, which, by the way, if you didn't see, the technology on the ice with the projection is crazy. That's all through Sports Media Technology over in Durham. Crazy. It's awesome. Really cool setup over there, and they work with a variety of sports, but the stuff they do partnering with the NHL is really cool, very in-depth tracking, and they can do all sorts of cool replays, and the projection at the watch party, seeing the dots on the ice. So even if you're not looking at the screen, you're almost kind of still watching the game. You just can't see the players themselves.
The only thing I would have a hard time with is I think I would get caught watching the dots.
Oh, I definitely caught myself
and
a
not
couple times.
watching like the board or the jumbotron where you would be able to see like the type of shot that scored rather than just the little puck projection. But it was cool. If the electricity was like that for a watch party tomorrow, all bets are off. It's going to be bananas. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're just getting started here. The Canes tied the series last night, and it's a completely different series. Stick around.
When you own your own business, you own every decision.
Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge. Big props to this team.
Some decisions are a win-win, like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business, the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade on the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. Right now, the United States is trading at about 1.5% to win the whole darn thing, which means opportunity. A $10 trade will pay out about $6,000 if they go on to win the world's soccer's biggest prize. On Kalshi, you're not just waiting for that last payout if it happens. You're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD, that's TIMD, no spaces, to get $10 when you trade 10. KALSHI, Kalshi, trade on the beautiful game. 18 plus, restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and availability markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulators.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Turning with it's Theodore. Theodore shot through traffic. Bussy gets a piece. Loose puck. Still to the side of the net of Bussy. A chance to clear. It bounces out, and it's going into the empty net. Bingo! Carolina has gone up. Nikolai Ehlers is the one who gets the bounce with 54.8, and it's 5-3 Carolina. Yes, Trip Tracy, there is an empty net goal in Vegas.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That empty netter, by the way. Nikolai Ehlers should be a globetrotter. Ready for this analogy, Max? When I was growing up, I used to do the Globetrotters would come through the area I was living once a year, and that was always my birthday. I'd take 2 or 3 guys, the bros, and we'd go to the Globetrotters. And there was a bit that I thought was hilarious that I have since figured out. Showtime Gaffney, who was the guy with the microphone, for those of you familiar with the Globetrotters, would take a half-court shot, and he would miss. And he would grab the microphone and he would say, "I know the problem. I was too close." And he'd back up like 10 feet and he'd shoot again and he'd miss and he'd grab the microphone. "It's the same problem. I was too close." And he'd back up 10 feet and he'd throw it again. And at the time, I was like, this is hilarious. And then he made one of them and crowd went wild. And he was like, "See, I told you I was too close." As an adult, I look back and I go, he was just going to keep backing up until he made one. Right? It was the same joke over and over again until it went in.
Would have gone until he was in like row F behind the basket.
Exactly. "I was throwing it the wrong way." And he'd throw it backwards or something, right? You just keep upping the ante until you make one. Nikolai Ehlers has had some empty netter chances this postseason, and he has not been able to convert. So what he really needed to do was an impossible angle from the far corner, just trying to clear it. The problem was he was too close. It was too easy. He needed to make it more difficult.
It was too direct. He had to bank it and get a weird carom off the boards to get it to go in.
Just like he played it. Showtime Ehlers. I know the problem. It's too easy. But he made it. It sealed it. That's the first time I felt like, any kind of exhale in the entire game. You can't count out either team at any point in time in this series. It's a fool's errand. You get up multiple goals, you need 3 more. You have a lead with 30 seconds left, you need another goal. It's incredible. And it's a credit to both of these teams that's a thing. And you need that one more bounce. You need that triple zeros on the clock. And Nikolai Ehlers gave it to him. Which, by the way, with that win, Carolina is now once again favored to win the Stanley Cup. Sportsbook betting odds, last I checked, -145, which has now, you want to talk about pendulum swings? The Panthers, goodness, they're not favored to win anything. The Canes were favored prior to the series. They lost game 1. Vegas was favored. Canes win game 2. They're back to being favored. Vegas wins game 3. They're back to being favored. Now Canes win game 4. They're back to being favored. There has not been a team that was the favorite to win the Cup in this series for more than however long it took for the next game to be played. It's a back-and-forth game, and it's not over. The series is at least halfway over, right? Because you can only go 7, and they've already played 4. But expect more swings. Expect more swings. And let's talk about the things that the Canes have to clean up. There's to me 2 very, very obvious things. One of them, you have to stop the breakaways. You have to find, by any means necessary, you can't have Mark Stone behind the defense. You can't have these breakaways regardless of who's in net. If it's Bussy, if it's Freddie, if it's Piotr, if it's Cam Ward, I don't care who you have in net. You have to stop the breakaways, and it's obvious that Vegas is now hunting for them, right? They're throwing the over-the-top passes. They are leaking out when the Canes get their full ice pressure. They're looking for it, and it's an unfair situation to continue to put your goalie in. And then this one's a bit more abstract. You have to tame the second period beast. Right now there is like a game within a game. And I don't even know if it's Canes versus Vegas. It's Canes versus the second period. They're making more mistakes. They're getting lost. They're losing momentum. Right now, as it stands, Vegas has outscored Carolina 9-1 in the second period. The Canes have outscored them in the first period by 2, and they've dominated the third period 10-2. But that middle period is just looming. And again, we all know, I'm not speaking factually that it's not, Canes or Carolina versus Vegas, but I'm saying there's so many self-inflicted wounds in that second period that lead to the success Vegas is having. There's so many plays made, decisions made, carelessness that happens in the second period that hasn't been happening in the others. And in a series where both teams can be so streaky, where both teams can score in those bundles. Right? The NHL stats pointed out it's the first time in Stanley Cup Final history that 4 games featured a team rallying from a multi-goal deficit to at least tie the game, and it's game 4. First time in a series, it's happened 4 times, and it's happened in the only 4 games. So that second period, at this point, I'll take a nothing period. If you promise me for the rest of the series, it's just a plus-minus of 0. Whatever they score, Canes score, I'll take it. Because you're starting better, you're finishing better. That middle period is keeping Vegas afloat. And then you have to continue to do a great job just weathering these storms. You want to hear maybe my favorite stat that was revealed? And there's so many of them, right? First time since whatever decade, 100 years ago. This is the most goals, it is tied right now for the third most goals scored in any Stanley Cup Final through 4 games. Do you know the teams that were involved in the 2 highest scoring? They're wild.
I'm going to guess 1985 Oilers.
No. 1981 North Stars versus Islanders had 36 goals through this point. Right now, Vegas and Carolina are combined for 33. But the 1918 Arenas versus Millionaires also had 36 goals through 4 games in the Stanley Cup Final.
All Canadian final. That's the only way to get a Canadian winner, I guess.
Vancouver Millionaires was a team that was actually involved. That's how far back we have to go for these stats.
Canucks have done some nice throwback jerseys of them, too. It's this nice maroon with like a V on it. I've seen some of the Arenas throwbacks, too. They're not as cool, but yeah, I mean.
I did a slight little, just quick Google search. There are some real cool articles and stuff about the Millionaires and who was on them and everything.
What a team name that is.
Exactly. And back then, $1 million, with currency, with the inflation, that's like having a team now named the Trillionaires.
The Billionaires.
It's different. But either way, when you have to go back to the Millionaires to find one of 2 series, Stanley Cup Final series, that have more goals through this point than this series, you better be prepared for something crazy. You better be prepared. You better know that no lead is safe because the opposing team can, and I'm talking about both Vegas and Carolina, can close that gap in a fury. The symmetry. How about this one? Game 1, Canes have a multi-goal lead, lose it, lose. Game 2, Vegas has a multi-goal lead, loses it, loses. Game 3, Vegas has a multi-goal lead, loses it, wins. Game 4, Canes have a multi-goal lead, loses it, win. It is straight back and forth symmetry. Stop the breakaways, get the second period under control, and perhaps we can have a more linear game rather than these giant swings. But I wouldn't expect it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we return, that chaotic game will be broken down in 2 minutes of gold with Adam Gold, and we hit the Dean's List next.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something that I encourage all, not just motorcycle riders to do, but also drivers as well, is that make sure your insurance is up to date. Did you know that in the state of North Carolina, that 1 out of every 8, 1 out of every 9 drivers that are out there on the road are either uninsured or underinsured? So if you're injured in an accident, and if their policy is not able to cover your trip to the hospital or any of your medical costs, well, then your policy then has to kick in to cover any other expenses. So make sure that your insurance is up to date in case you're involved in an accident. That way you're protected and covered. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Pepsi products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
It's been a tough Saturday on the lake. I ordered swim trunks in this orange cream color, but it's actually more orange auburn. Oh, and it's swimwear. I probably can't even return these.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
Looking for the ultimate playoff hockey headquarters? Head to Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex, your official member of the Canes Bar Network. Catch every playoff game with the sound on, ice cold drink specials flowing, and all the action bigger than ever on our massive 16-foot video wall. And when the final horn sounds, the deals keep coming with late-night happy hour appetizers after 9 p.m. Playoff hockey, great food, cold drinks. Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex. Apex for playoff atmosphere where Canes fans gather to cheer louder.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog, too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're getting ready to hear from Adam Gold in 2 Minutes of Gold. Adam is also a big soccer fan, so I have some information for you. Soccer's biggest event begins this week in North America. We'll have updates during the entire run, including previews of upcoming USA matches. The first, which is this Friday, has USA going up against Paraguay. Our coverage of soccer's biggest event is presented by the North Carolina Courage and Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care. Reminders that as the tournament gets started, USA opens things in group play with Group D. Paraguay, Australia, Turkey, and obviously USA. Friday is when it all for USA gets rolling. Thursday is when it kicks off for the tournament as a whole. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, now here on The Drive. All about last night's chaotic back and forth, gotta have it win for the Carolina Hurricanes. Here's our very own Adam Gold with 2 Minutes of Gold.
I'm your captain, yeah, 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 yeah.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 goals and 2 more goals and more than 2 big saves from number 2 as Carolina wins Game 4, 5-3. They win by 2. And it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers, parkwaysleep.com. Carolina needed a fast start to Game 4, especially with Brandon Bussey in the nets, and they got it.
Low shot out in front, lively boards, they score! Right off the hop, Logan Stankoven. Oh my, is he having a playoff series? His 11th puts Carolina up 1. Keep in by Nikisha. Sent to Ehlers, side of the net. Hall puts it through. They score! Jackson Blake, another power play goal, and it's 2-0 Carolina. 3 minutes and 28 seconds into the first period.
Inside of 3.5 minutes, the Hurricanes had a 2-0 lead. Mark Stone would pull one back for 2-1, and then the captain went to work.
Here's a chance. It gets through traffic. Shoot, and they score! The captain again! It's 4 games and 4 goals for Jordan Staal. Oh, what a series is he writing! And it's 3-1 Carolina, and that is a power play goal.
First of 2 for Jordan Staal. We'll get to that one in a minute. In between, Brandon Bussey had to do a lot of work.
Michael, close save made by Bussey. Now can the Canes clear? It can't get it out. Kept in by Marner. Opportunity there was Jankowski. And now Marner through traffic. Save Bussey. And now Slavin has time. And he will airmail this one the length of the ice. And Stahl can get off. And Carolina can put fresh killers onto the playing surface here with 25 seconds left in the penalty to Jordan Martinook.
Two huge saves. Jankowski needed to clear that puck. He didn't, but you didn't pay the price. That's great killing and two massive saves.
Bussey getting the start after his performance on Saturday. Fantastic stuff. He was great tonight, and who knows, maybe he'll earn a second Stanley Cup Final start on Thursday. But let's not worry about that right now because Carolina was 3-3 in the third and had to figure out a way to get another goal to get this one to the house. Guess who answered the call?
No giveaway. Jarvis goes in backhand and Hart with the save. Oh, Jarvis all alone now back out in front for Stahl. A backhand, he scores! He scores again! Oh my goodness! The captain is unreal. His second of the game, and the Hurricanes have got a 4-3 lead with 13:28. Oh, captain, my captain, Jordan Stahl, writing a story in the Stanley Cup Final.
You gotta be kidding. 5 goals in 4 games of the final, 7 goals in the playoff. Jordan Stahl is making a case for an award when this whole thing is over. But before we get that far, Carolina still got 2 more games to win.
Marner out in front. Bussey gets across on Eichel. Rebound, and it's knocked away as Anderson had a look, but Gostisbehere takes it away, and the Canes will gladly take this icing as Martinook fires it back into the Vegas zone. Oh, that is a monster save from Brandon Bussey.
I mean, Goliath, Mitch Marner, A-level elite pass, spinning around and finds Jack Eichel on the back door. And Bussey has got to explode from right to left and make the save on Eichel.
Brandon Bussey rose to the moment. Jordan Stahl is carrying his team, and the Stankoven and Blake combination was dynamite again. Parkway Sleep Health Center. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup title.
Thank you very much to Adam Gold for a segment we call 2 Minutes of Gold. It's become significantly more than 2 minutes of gold.
Yeah, we're at 4:29 today.
I used to joke that, it's like 2 minutes for roughing or something. We had 2 minutes of Adam Gold. Then it became double minors. We're creeping up on a 5-minute major. We're creeping up on some misconduct calls here. But with a game like that, I can't blame him. You can't pack all that action, all that recap into just 2 minutes. So because that ran long a little bit here, we'll hit the Dean's List very quickly. Dean's List. On the Dean's List, how about robots? I don't know if everybody saw this. According to On3, USC, we're talking Southern Cal, the real one, is hiring Colin McQuiston as the director of artificial intelligence, as the director of AI. His entire job is going to be setting up AI modules to help that program find competitive advantages.
I think they should focus on other aspects of being better at football first.
The robots are here to take college football money. To think, we used to not pay the players. Now we're paying the director of AI. I mean, do you know who's the director of AI to me? Steven Spielberg. He directed the movie AI. But now USC has, I guess, their own Spielberg. More Dean's List. How about the Western Michigan University hockey team? Brandon Bussey won a Stanley Cup Final game. Second goalie to win a playoff game in the NHL that went to Western Michigan. Glenn Healy for the Rangers in 93-94. That is a heck of a moment for everybody involved with Brandon Bussey. So I just wanted to, I played football at the University of Delaware. Every time Joe Flacco did something, we acted like we were a part of it. Every time Rich Gannon did something, it's like, whoa, Blue Hens, as if we're there. That's how college programs get to act. So Western Michigan, act like you did something. Do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to throw on here, Max?
No, not really.
Beautiful. then my final one will be everybody that reacted to the Brendan Sorsby news 2 days ago. If the NCAA doesn't have the authority to impart any penalties or appropriate penalties, then you just kind of have to shame it. You just got to make it that kind of awful, and everybody reacted the way they should, with outrage and anger, and you can't bet on your own team. Dean's list dismissed. Beautiful. And we had to roll through it because there's more to talk about for the Carolina Hurricanes winning Game 4. It was a must-win. It was shaky at times, but the final score is all that matters. Canes win. We'll talk about it in just a minute, but first, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. Miller Lending is the home of the no-cost loan. So not only are they trying to help you find your dream home, they are also the dream home of the no-cost loan. And what that means is the fees, the surcharges, the closing costs, all these things that add up to be a much bigger number than you were hoping it would when you get your mortgage or when you refi, they get rid of them. And they don't just rename them, right? It's not like closing costs got a new PR, got a new publicist, and they're no longer closing costs, but they're finishing fees. Like that's not it, right? They do away with them, and what that does is it allows you to plan a little bit more appropriately. It allows you to understand your finances and know what you can afford just a little bit better, and also keeps a little money in your pocket, which is what I think we're all trying to do. So if you're in the market for a mortgage, or perhaps you locked in your mortgage rate when it was at the top of the market and you're looking to refi, Miller Lending should be the first place you call. Locally owned, by the way, so you're calling someone right here in the Triangle. Here's the number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. Easy to remember, millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, more about the Canes winning Game 4.
Hey, girls, what's going on?
We're just mapping out our entertainment to-do list, and we are ready. Okay, here we go. First on the list, House of Hops. Love the place. So relaxing. Variety of food trucks and a new selection of those THC drinks I'm digging on. Oh, and you know I'm a wine drinker, and their wine list is only matched by their huge craft beer selection. Oh, I can't wait.
Excellent. Who's next?
Well, we gotta eat, right? So zip by Che Empanadas. Scrumptious Argentinian delicacies. Can't go wrong there.
That's the one by Sharky's, right? Scrumptious indeed. Eat there all the time.
Hey, don't forget Salt and Lime. You know the one by the Raleigh Grand.
Girl, Margarita Mondays and Taco Tuesdays? That's where you'll find me.
You girls do have it mapped out. Che Empanadas, the House of Hops and Salt and Lime Cabo Grill. All outstandingly scrumptious. Off Glenwood, Grove Barton, and Durham Road.
Leaves, water, debris. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. There are a lot of things that can wreak havoc on your commercial property, and we are proud to be there for our dedicated customers that depend on us. From helping to design and build the roof for new construction, to maintenance, repair, and replacements, we've got the experience that you can count on. At RoofWorks, we don't want to be the biggest, we just want to be the best. Visit us at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
June is Men's Health Month, and WakeMed encourages you to get a PSA blood test. Starting at age 45, men should be screened every 2 years. You may need to start earlier if you have a higher risk for prostate cancer or a family history of the disease. A simple blood test checks the level of PSA or prostate-specific antigen in your blood. If levels are elevated, your doctor may recommend additional screening. For more information, visit wakemed.org. That's wakemed.org.
Hey friends, it's Paul Wyhander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. And right now, new FanDuel customers can hit the court, and there's no better time, I promise you. You can hit the court with $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 straight days. FanDuel is the best place to bet all your favorite players during the NBA Finals. And just like San Antonio and New York, you can play your game any way you want. And best of all, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. So head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul, FanDuel.com/Paul to get $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 days. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. Minimum $5 wager required for 7 consecutive days. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Oh, shot out in front. Lively boards. They score! Right off the hop. Logan Stankoven. Oh, my. Is he having a playoff series? His 11th puts Carolina up 1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Soccer's biggest event begins this week in our home continent, North America. We'll have updates during the entire run, including previews of upcoming USA matches. The first for USA is this Friday as they go up against Paraguay. Our coverage of soccer's biggest event is presented by North Carolina Courage and Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care. Max, the Carolina Hurricanes tied things up. They were down 2-1. They were on the road in Vegas, raucous environment. There's knights flying through the air before the game. There's a giant knight's hat. I don't call it a helmet because it's I don't know, like call it a hat. Just try to take a little bit of the coolness out of it. On the ice, there's Cirque du Soleil stuff going around. You're out of your elements. You're on enemy territory. And you came away with the win. And you came away with the win when you absolutely needed to have it. Now, let me ask you this. In that moment, and I can tell you, like, I know what everyone's thoughts are based on first goal scorer predictions, which we do every day. We'll do tomorrow, by the way. So have your first goal scorers for Game 5 ready tomorrow. In a game like that, you need somebody to light the fuse. You need somebody to be the tone setter. And you might think, highest paid player, right? Your number one center. It got to be Sebastian Aho. You may think, no, best player, gold medalist, Jacob Slavin. You may think it needs to be the captain. He has a goal in every game. It needs to be Jordan Stahl. You may think, highest drafted, give me Andrei Svechnikov or Taylor Hall. Logan Stankoven. It's not the size of the Stankoven in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the Stankoven. Listen, I would love it if Jarvis finished on a few more of the opportunities he's gotten in the last 2 or 3 games. I would love it if Aho didn't have some really uncharacteristic mishandles of the puck and strange turnovers. I would love that. But the part of being on a team, the part of any team sport that's worth anything, is it doesn't matter who ends up with the stats. It doesn't matter who ends up. It's not like, oh, if your top guys aren't performing, there's no way you can win. They can be picked up by the smallest guy on the ice. They can be picked up by somebody who knows? By this point next year, we may be talking about Hall, Stankoven, Blake as the top line and demanding they're the ones that carry you through these games. Stankoven and Jackson Blake got the game rolling for the Canes. And I know that Vegas stormed back in that second period to tie it up. I'm aware. But if you don't have those early goals, the second period gets away from you in a different way. If you don't have that cushion, everything gets away from you in a different way. That line, oh, by the way, we can give you some statistical backing up of this, and I actually have to correct myself from earlier. I said that Logan Stankoven has scored in 9 goals this postseason, and they were 9 games this postseason, and they were 9-0. I had that stat bookmarked from before yesterday's game. They're 10-0 in games that he has scored a goal. So it's same win percentage, just 1 extra game. But how about this? With an assist on Carolina's second goal last night, the Jackson Blake goal, Taylor Hall has now tied the Hurricanes franchise mark for road points in a single postseason. Ron Francis in 2002 and Corey Stillman in 2006 each had 10 points on the road. Now Taylor Hall does too. 3 goals, 7 assists in 8 games played on the road. That line, I mean, Are we to the point now where it's almost getting the what we traditionally call the Slavin treatment, which is you're good, so consistent, so often that we almost stop talking about you? Do you remember what it was like when that line scored 2 goals, when Jackson Blake and Logan Stankoven each scored a goal back in the first round, back against Philly? So first round against Ottawa or second round against Philly, it was like celebration time. It was these young guys. People were passing around the stats or the numbers of their contracts like they were winning lotto numbers. Last night, they each scored a goal in a Stanley Cup Final, gotta have it game, and everyone went right to, yeah, Bussy and Stahl have been awesome, huh? They are 22 and 23 years old. They scored the first 2 goals like 2.5 minutes apart in a Stanley Cup Final game.
Yeah, we're almost getting spoiled with how good they've been that it's starting to almost get accepted as
They
normal.
score, and it's like, oh, yep, there's Logan Stankoven with the tone setter.
It's almost getting accepted as normal when this type of stuff is not.
It's not normal. It's not normal for the young guys. It's not normal for Taylor Hall. Number 1 overall picks don't play on 1,000 teams and then suddenly answer the prophecy and fulfill everything that was promised when they're mid-30s on their, 7th team? How many has he been on? Number 1 picks don't become journeymen and depth forwards and then suddenly have a team leading point total in a run to 14 wins and counting in the postseason. Like, I'm all for, and I will, wax poetic about the journey of Jordan Stahl. Because so many Canes fans have watched so much of it, right? You remember what it looked like for him, like pre-Aho, right? Like before this run has started. We know what that looks like. We know who he's played with. We know the struggles, the heartbreak. We know. Taylor Hall's had just as much, if not more. You include the injuries, the trades, and it is 1 for 1. Like when you include everything he's been through, and now, Stahl's performing, don't get me wrong. But he's got proven dudes on his lines. It's either Ehlers or he's out there with Jarvis, right? Like he's got guys. Taylor Hall, when he took over the second line, right? When he didn't take it over, but when he joined that second line earlier this year, it's a couple of guys that have shown real flashes in their rookie year. Like, that's what they were. Now, that's the best line in the postseason. That is a heck of a story. Brandon Bussy, maybe the best story in the NHL this year. Logan Stankoven and Jackson Blake are right there.
Oh, yeah.
Logan Stankoven was the underwhelming finale to the Mikko Rantanen saga in Carolina, right? It didn't work out. Finally had the 100-point scorer that you needed. You finally had it, and it didn't work. Got these picks and this Logan Stankoven guy that had a pretty good postseason the year before. Don't we all wish we could go change the way we reacted to that trade? Even the optimistic among us, and I believe I was, you can go find it on YouTube, I was like, I like it. I think if you look at it, the return based on the situation you were in, this was a good pivot. We should have been firing streamers and fireworks and celebrating. And then you get the contract signed and they're under contract forever. It's an unbelievable move. And can you imagine if those contracts weren't signed yet? Every goal they score would just be another $500,000 a year. And they score a ton of them.
And if we're talking contracts and you talk about the other 2 guys that you just mentioned, they just signed Brandon Bussy to a 3-year extension worth $1.9 million per year. With the way the cap's going up, that's already not much, but the way the cap's going up, like that's not going to hurt you at all. And then Taylor Hall, who they signed to a 3-year extension before last season at, I think it's like 3.3 a year. He's kind of had a great bounce back season, and he had a couple years here before coming to Carolina where he had a really shortened injury shortened season in Chicago, and then spent the half the year there before being traded to Carolina midseason last season. Then obviously you have to kind of settle in and get your bearings, and then this year he's really kind of exploded back and had a revitalization here, late in his career. I mean, this guy was drafted first overall in 2010.
Yeah.
Like, he has been around the block. You mentioned he's played for a bunch of teams, and he's made the playoffs a couple times. Like, never made it with Edmonton, his first team, and then made it once with New Jersey the year that he won the Hart. And was
I didn't even mention that.
It was the heart of the whole team
in the middle there.
And then the other playoff runs, like he made it once with Arizona in the bubble. Like they were never going anywhere. And then the couple years with Boston, and the last year there was the year they set all the regular season records just to lose in 7 in the first round against the Panthers. Now he's got his first real chance at winning the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's lost on him. I don't think it's lost on a lot of the guys who are getting their first chance. And even if they haven't been around in the league for 16 years, like they know this opportunity could potentially not come back again. So if you've worked so hard your whole life to get to this point, like these guys are really seizing the moment right now and playing some really, really good hockey.
Did you see the Rod Brindamore, like they put like the minute and a half speech up the Canes do from the locker room where they pass the rope, and he special teams always gets a shout out, that kind of stuff. So if you're unfamiliar, they have a little like section of a rope that they after wins, the player that was given it the last time they won a game gives it to someone else to honor it could be a good game. It's not always like the guy that scored the most goals, right? It's somebody that did something team oriented, pull in the right direction, all those sort of things. So Jarvis had the rope, right? Because the last time they won, he scored the game winner in overtime. And Rod goes like, "Who's got the rope? Give it to the next guy." And he Blake Stank, great job. Singled out Stahl. Wish I could give it to you, but you only get your first one once. And he passes it to Bussy, and the locker room erupted. I know he meant playoff win because it was the first playoff start for Brandon Bussy. If he was talking Stanley Cup Final win, it would have been an entire locker room full of people with 2. Going, you only get your first one once, buddy, and giving them the rope. There's a lot of people in that room that this is their first chance at this. For some, you never know. It could be one of their last chances at this. It's not guaranteed to get these chances at a real cup opportunity every year, and I think they're playing like it. And I just wanted to single out the Stankoven line because I feel like in the last month and a half, we've gone from in awe of their emergence to expecting their greatness, and that's too quick. I mean, you got to be a great line for like 3 or 4 years before we start just going like, well, of course they scored 2 goals in a gotta-have-it game. Let's still be appreciative. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have football at 4 coming up next, so don't go anywhere.
A bull riding contest. I'm signing up.
You've never ridden a bull.
No, but I won playing a new Bucks Loaded Edition scratch-off, and I'm on a roll.
But they're loaded with $50, $100, and $200 prizes.
Oh, I'm riding the Widowmaker.
Go for the win with new Bucks Loaded Edition scratch-offs and digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.72 to 4.75. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Liberty Mutual customized this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. A lot of people have work to do on their homes. They need a roof. They want windows, siding. You guys do everything. But people are also, I'm not sure I can afford it. The Aluminum Company is a great place to go. Tell us why.
Well, tons of times I'll go out to people's houses and they're thinking about doing a bunch of home improvements at once. Siding, roofing, windows are a big package, right? And the first thing they think of is, well, I'm going to need to go get an equity line or a second mortgage. One of the things we have is tons of financing options where you don't even need to go to your bank. We can do that in-house for you and run payment options for you. And lots of times the financing that we offer is a better percentage rating than you can get from your bank, and you don't have to go through all that mess to get to it.
I like that. Also, is there 12 months
0 interest?
12 months, 0 interest, 0 payments for 12 months.
0 payments and 0 interest at the same time for 12 months.
That is correct.
That is a double header right there. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online, aluminumcompany.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Our brief break yesterday is gone. It is hot and humid out there this afternoon. 92 degrees with a slim chance for storms from the Triangle area northward. 73 tonight, and then more heat and humidity. It really builds for us on Thursday and Friday. Dangerous heat possibly near record highs right around 99 with a chance of some strong storms each afternoon.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 953 points today to 49,918. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, tomorrow's Stanley Cup Final Game 5 can be heard right here on 99.9 The Fan. Probably haven't done a good enough job reminding everybody of that. But by this point, I mean, how many games? We got the entire preseason, regular season, all these postseason games. You know where it is. Mike Maniscalco, Trip Tracy, right here on 99.9. They are becoming, by the way, they are already internet celebrities in our realm. They're becoming just internet celebrities with their booth cam and the
physicality.
The physicality, but their personality. Like Trip Tracy and the videos he's posted in between games. Mike Maniscalco and I was watching SportsCenter late after the game last night, right? No way I'm falling asleep within hour or two after that game. I'm watching SportsCenter. They play the highlight film. They're talking about the emotion in his voice as he called the Stahl win on national television, right? It is a broadcast that is extremely, and I say this positively, Canes. It is extremely our community and our culture, and it's extremely good technical broadcast as well. They entertain. They tell you what's happening. Big fan of them, and you can only hear them here on 99.9 The Fan. During the year, right, they're on the television broadcasts and everything. Once you get past the first round of the postseason, 99.9 The Fan's the only spot. And the 99.9 The Fan app. I consider them the same thing. But you can download it everywhere, Google Play, App Store, the whole deal. With that being said, let's talk a little football in the meantime. So the Panthers have mandatory mini camps going on. They are holding their mandatory mini camps. Some teams, if they have really good attendance during the voluntary portions, cancel the mandatories. Not the Panthers. They're out there on the field. They're trying to get better. I wouldn't expect anything else from Dave Canales running the show. But he did, meaning Dave Canales, the head coach, did speak to the media after practice yesterday. We have some audio for you. Let's first get a little, maybe a health update on Ike Ekwonu. Former NC State offensive lineman, top 10 draft pick. He got hurt right at the end of last year, starting left tackle. They then drafted a left tackle in the first round, so, precarious future for Ike Ekwonu. Here's Dave Canales updating on Ekwonu's return status. Here it is.
I'm not going to give a specific timeline on Icky. We expect him back at some point in the season. He's crushing it week in and week out, and he's excited about it. He's the athletic trainers are excited about his progress right now. They're just continuing to progress him with different types of movement, forward movement, a little bit of lateral movement, and just continuing to see how they can push the envelope a little bit, but in a smart way. So his spirits are high. As I check in with Icky, almost daily and see him, he's got a big smile on his face. He knows the work in front of him, and he's up for the challenge.
There you go. That is one of the few things I do think matter for these mini camps and OTAs and things. You can hear directly from coaches, players, updates on injuries, right? Because We don't know what the play, like you see a clip of a route being run. I'm tempted, just like everybody else. Ooh, didn't get in and out of that break fast. I don't know if I love that. Or, oh, wow, he's flying. We don't know what they're being asked to do, right? Especially when you have rookies, right? When you have somebody like Chris Brazzell, third-round rookie wide receiver out of Tennessee. You don't know if they're trying to coach a habit out of him, right? Because there's a million different ways. And I say a million, and that's only kind of an exaggeration. There's a million different ways that a wide receivers coach, who's a good wide receivers coach, could train you to use footwork on different releases or in and out of breaks, speed cuts, rounded cuts, option routes, and I'm just naming words, just techniques, right? So maybe if he were to run it, and I'm not saying he looked good or bad in any of the clips, but I'm saying maybe if he were to run it the way they taught it in college, at his college, Tennessee with the Volunteers, he could look ultra fast, but they're asking him to learn a new technique, and of course that's going to be slow until he gets his 10,000 reps. Right? We don't know what they're being coached. We don't know what they're being taught. So it's really hard to be hard and fast with your evaluations. But with that being said, we can trust what the coaches say, or at least put it through a coach speak translator and try to figure out what's actually true about what the coaches say. So let's hear it. Here's Dave Canales on the value of extra reps, specifically for the rookies like the one I just brought up, Chris Brazzell.
Yeah, it's invaluable to get out there, hear the call. We've done a little bit more call it from the sideline. Of course, with Brad calling the plays this year, it's a good opportunity to give him different D&Ds. But then it also really tests the players because there's no script to review before you go out there. You just got to be in the huddle. You got to listen for the call, go out and execute. And there's no better way to replicate that than to kind of make it feel more live where both offense and defense are on the sideline in those settings.
That's what they're doing. Just getting the call, getting in the rhythm of it, figuring it out on the way. That's what at least the rookies are doing. What about somebody like Xavier Legette, who many believe Chris Brazzell was drafted to take his spot? Dave Canales was asked if this year is a make-or-break year for Xavier Legette, the former late first-round pick, wide receiver. Here's Dave Canales.
I think it's a make-or-break year for all of us every year, and Xavier has worked that way. And from the minute he's gotten here, he's 100 miles an hour. He's putting in the time in the playbook. He's busting his butt on the field, working on little technical skills. We had great meetings coming out of the season, great meetings when he came back in April, talked about his plan and the things he's been working on and all that. He's aware of all the things he needs to continue to improve upon to be the player that we know he can be and that he knows he can be. And so, but he's enjoying it. He's got great energy out there. I think they had a big hangout this past weekend. There was a bunch of guys having fun. I could not watch the videos. I was like, all right, I know nothing, I see nothing, but they had a great time, which speaks to the larger group. Offensively, defensively, guys are taking advantage to connect on and off the field. That's how you create a great team. That's how you go the extra mile, are able to stay with it a little bit longer when the games get hard and tough. You lean on those relationships, and X has been right in the middle of all that.
I don't, coaches, I could never, right? And I knew when my playing career was done, when I was done in college, I was going to be around sports somehow. It was media or coaching. A bunch of reasons I chose media, obviously. But coaches having so little control would drive me nuts. Seeing them on horses, and then you just, against your will, like your brain, it just recalls every single horse accident you've ever heard of in your life. When you see every ATV accident you've ever read about on social media, when you see Bryce Young on a 4x4, whatever that thing was, just has to run into your brain. In college, our offensive coordinator used to joke. He was our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. At least I think he was joking. We for the most part had like 3 quarterbacks that were getting reps in practice. He used to joke that we should never be in the same car. Because he's like, if all 3 of you go down, I don't know what we're going to do. So, hey, you guys going over to, driving to the cafeteria? Taking 2 cars, right? Used to be like a little joke he had. Although I don't think he was joking. Grain of truth. Same deal there. Xavier Legette, having everybody down there on horses, hilarious. Also, nerve-wracking for the coach. Talk about it being make or break for everyone every year. It's always make or break for a head coach in the NFL, especially if you don't have multiple Super Bowls. And one little thing that happens on a little excursion with a horse, and suddenly
it's literally make or break.
It's a break. It's a broken leg year for you.
Break your leg. I got to say, that was just some – Dave Canales is very personable. I like Dave Canales as a coach a lot. He is an absolute pro at coach speak.
Oh, yeah.
Well, is it a make or break year? Well, it's a make or break year for all of us every year, you know? Like, that's just peak coach speak, like kind of keeping the cards a little bit close to your chest about how you really feel one way or another, but also kind of uplifting your guys publicly whenever possible. I mean, it's the standard I've come to expect from Dave Canales, and I'm glad that he is just sharp. Even first day of minicamp, like he's out here with the platitudes and everything when it comes to the need for that.
I mean, there was 0% chance he was going to go if he doesn't have 800 yards.
Yeah, if he doesn't have a couple catches in the first 3 weeks, he's going to get cut.
We've told his agent he needs, X amount of snaps and X amount of catches.
I feel like maybe the drafting of Chris Brazzell,
actions speak louder than words.
That's the last motivator. Like, all right, man, like if you don't make some use out of this roster spot, like we brought this rookie guy in, he's got some potential, like you better show out, or the spot could be in danger.
I've said this a bunch of times. If I were a friend, a mentor, or a confidant of Xavier Legette, I'd make sure he's pretty good at special teams. Because you can be, quote unquote, a bust first round wide receiver and bust your draft status all the way to 12 years and millions of dollars in the NFL with his skill set. You could be the most famous, most rich, most well-off, most horses in your stable first-round wide receiver bust if he handles things appropriately. Because he's physically gifted. Unbelievable athlete. Just needs to become a more polished wide receiver, and if not, the more you can do to stay in the NFL. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is football at 4. Right now, I got something else to tell all of you. Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi. You all know it. The hunt for the Stanley Cup is on, and it's popping. And you can trade on every game on Kalshi. Throughout the postseason on Kalshi, you could have traded on single playoff games, series, conference champions, and now you can trade on the big shebang, the final championship. Right now, and it's fluctuated, right, which you'll learn is very important on Kalshi. Right now, the Carolina Hurricanes are trading at 57% to win the Stanley Cup. That means a $100 trade, if it happens, if you get the yes outcome, about $175 payout. But here's where it gets interesting, right? As the probabilities change, you can move in and out of your position. You can buy in and out of your position at any time. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there is no house. So if you think the Canes are going to jump out in the first period and score a bunch of goals, and you think that second period is going to be looming the way it has this series, you can trade out of your position at the end of the first when odds are up. And then as they tumble on the second, you can buy right back in for the third and play the entire string out. That's just an option, okay? Just remember, on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. I got something even sweeter for you. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD. That's TIMD to get $10 when you trade 10. No spaces, by the way. TIMD, no spaces. KALSHI, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. We will be back here on The Drive with a game of blind rankings. We're going to give our HurriCons and Cons after Game 4 and talk about the other playoffs going on. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
let me wait until all of those other quarterbacks do their deals to see what the high water mark is for the quarterback market, and then I'll decide what I want in terms of the Baltimore Ravens giving me a deal, what I want it to look like, and I'll also decide whether or not I'm happy here in Baltimore with new head coach Jesse Minter.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Pepsi products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
When you own your own business, you need to keep things moving. Need to book a last-minute flight? Earn a $300 travel credit to cover that. Need to take a meeting before takeoff? Do it from the comfort of the Chase Sapphire Lounge by the club. Need to catch your breath before you board? Done. Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business, the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Wait, everything on this IHOP value menu is just $6?
I told you it was amazing. A huge plate of pancakes, bacon, and eggs is just $6.
Wow.
There's also French toast, a ham and cheese omelet, and oh, they got a BLT and fries now.
Okay, we're coming here every day.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Feast for just $6 with the IHOP value menu. $7 in some locations, available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can gift to a child.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm still riding high. By the way, if you're a Canes fan, you should be. Like I'm a firm believer in that. I know that the treadmill gets turned up very, very fast for the players. So, 20 minutes after you win on a absolutely ridiculous back and forth game, you kind of have to be thinking about Game 5, and it may not be the most fun way to go through a Stanley Cup Final series, but it's the way you maximize your chances of achieving the ultimate goal the most. But that's for the players. That's for the players. The fans, you got a day between games, and if your team won, if your team's, the current hotter team, the current more momentum, you ride that wave as far as you can. Enjoy it. Max, you were in attendance for the watch party last night, right? You went into the building?
Yes, I was there.
Can you, in your best verbiage, explain what it was like in that building, specifically for a game that had highs, lows, and everything in between?
Yeah, I mean, look, you can tell if you've seen any of the videos or content from there. We're posting a lot on our social media channels as well, 99.9 The Fan. Be sure to follow us on all those platforms to get all the content. We're getting all the stuff from the arena for the road games, as well as everything going on actually in Vegas, and then we'll be there, of course, for home games tomorrow. But I mean, it was packed out. I mean, maybe with the exception of a couple rows, like in the very top corners of the 300s, like it was full. It was loud. Like they were constantly throwing the noise meter up there, which everybody basically takes the challenge, like to get ramped up. It was constantly hitting like 105, 106. People were jacked up, and having been in Vegas for the game on Saturday, like I know that there's definitely some bias here, but it felt like it was louder at the watch party yesterday than it was at the game in Las Vegas on Saturday.
Vegas, by the way, I'm not talking down on Vegas. It's a unique sports market. It is. I actually think their fans are like they're, again, not talking down because Carolina's been talked down on enough that I know if you're from somewhere else, you just may not get it. But it does seem like they're more of a, oh, that's cool, rather than, yeah, you know what I mean? They're more like, oh, that was a good play. They care, and they just don't necessarily take their shirts off and spin them around their head like a helicopter. It's just a different vibe. Not better nor worse, although I know which I prefer, and that would be the Carolina Hurricanes. But if the atmosphere was what it was to watch dots on the ice move around under a Jumbotron feed, tomorrow will be absolutely bonkers. If you have tickets to Game 5, enjoy. And if you are thinking about purchasing, it will not be cheap. But if you can get in that room, if you can afford it, enjoy. Let's see what ESPN is saying. As of right now, June 11th, that's tomorrow, tickets as low as $699.
Yeah, could be worse.
And maybe it will get closer to game time higher, but the get-in price for the two previous games in Raleigh were significantly higher than that. Maybe it's because we now know there's going to be a Game 6. So, like, there's no way that this is a closeout game, but we'll see. But the others weren't either, so what am I talking about? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's enough waxing poetic about Canes fans. You guys know how awesome you are. It is now time here on The Drive to get to a blind ranking. Oh, by the way, a little bit of news here. Hurricanes PR did just put out that the Canes will have a morning skate tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. ahead of Game 5 at 8 p.m. at the Lenovo Center. So we'll have some media availabilities, right? We'll give you all the who was in the starters crease and what the line rushes were and everything tomorrow. But they do have a morning skate tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. All right, Max, blind ranking. You get to run the show here. What are we ranking? And then take it away.
Okay, you could probably guess what the baseline
World
topic.
Cup teams that are going to advance out of pool play.
As much as I would like to talk about that as well, it will be a Carolina Hurricanes related blind ranking today. I'm going to have you blind ranking Canes playoff goals from this playoff run.
Like individual goals?
Yes, individual goals. So like whether consider it your favorite or whatever you thought was the most exciting. Either way, like however you would have these play out. So I've selected 5 goals from this playoff run. I'm going to play the calls from the goals as well, just so you can get a refresher in case you may have forgotten, as there have been a lot of goals, and the playoffs have gone on for a while. We're about 2 months into this thing already, so I couldn't blame you if they didn't all come top of mind, but we'll go and blind rank.
Give me 30 seconds here to just quickly get some form of a power ranking in my head of at least my like
thinking about your favorites.
Top
yeah,
favorites.
You can preload a couple in your head here.
Just because I don't want to miss something. All right, I think this is the entire postseason, so going all the way back to Ottawa Game 1.
Yes, I will say there are no round 1 goals in this.
So we'll start in Philly.
I figured that may have been too long ago. No, I remember some of them, but
okay. All right,
hard to compare from there. So we will start off the first goal. We will go with the Jackson Blake overtime series winner against Philadelphia in Game 4. Here's what that one sounded like on 99.9 The Fan with Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy.
Slavin, he gets it to Hall. Hall whips it across. Blake with a shot. He scores! It's over! Series over! Jackson Blake wins it in overtime!
This run has been so fun that a series-clinching overtime game winner wasn't even like when I just did the quick audit, like to get a couple leaders in the clubhouse, just a couple power rankings top. It wasn't one of them, but obviously it's a 22-year-old scoring a overtime game winner to clinch the second sweep of your postseason. That's crazy. And I love that sweep for a lot of reasons, including that Rod Brindamore was able to close it out in Philly, where obviously he has such a tremendous history, and it was a cool moment between Rod and the Philadelphia crowd. I'll put that one 3. Right in the middle. I think it's a good palate cleanser. Everything else will be judged off of how the OT Philly series clincher for Blake.
Okay, so that's your standard signature. But Jackson Blake's overtime series winning goal, round 2, game 4, that is going to go in at number 3 for you. All right, next up, we're going to go to the Mark Jankowski game-tying goal in the third period of Game 2, the Stanley Cup Final. Here was the call, again, from Mike Maniscalco.
Frederick Anderson, he'll settle it down. Kane's cleared out. Will Carrier into the zone. Drop Jankowski. He scores! Mark Jankowski has tied it up here, and the Canes have come back from 2 down. Oh, his first of the postseason, and Mark Jankowski has got this building in a frenzy.
As that played, I'm starting to realize that I judge like everything about the postseason through like interactions with Rod Brindamore. Because the first thing I think of when I hear that Jankowski goal is Rod in the locker room after going, "Bar down, baby. That's bar down, baby." And it looked like Rod was, back in his playing days, getting on one of his teammates who's not a traditional goal scorer for putting an absolute highlight on him. Do I include assists that set up the goal?
Just factor your whole. It could be the whole setup.
Because the Carrier setup is.
I know. I think that's a really, really important part of this play is the strength for him to stay onside and then make the assist while falling over. I think that all factors into how you rank the goals.
Not a go-ahead goal, but it was game tying in a must-win game. I'll go 4. Jankowski, bar down.
4. Okay, I like that one a little bit more, but we'll
it's
awesome.
It's
just by virtue of not being the winner, I guess.
And you got to consider what it's up against. You got to consider what might be behind door number 3 and 4 and 5. Like there might be some absolute blockbusters.
That is true. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. This one will go to Seth Jarvis. Double overtime, game-winning goal in Game 2, same game as that Mark Jankowski goal. Once again, here is the call from Mike Maniscalco.
As this is sent in, Ehlers goes diagonal for Aho. They'll go back and forth with it. Aho along the right wing boards. Back up top, it's Gostisbehere. Send it cross shot. Game over! Seth Jarvis wins it in overtime!
That's number 1. For a billion reasons, none the least of which, if you lose that overtime game, you simply have a game that, that you outplayed them for a big portion of it, and it might be over before we even get started, right? You're down 0-2, both at home. It's Seth Jarvis. It's top line, which those guys needed to get going. Jarvis needed to get going. I loved the nuance talking about the pass. It's not as on the surface crazy as the Carrier pass to Jankowski, but the subtle nuance of making it look like Gostisbehere was going to shoot. Ehlers jumping, whether he was selling the Gostisbehere pump fake or if he was genuinely thinking that Gostisbehere was going to shoot it, and then sliding it over to Jarvis. That's not. It's second overtime. That's the one, right? That's my number 1. It was the first thing that popped into my head when I set my power rankings quickly. It's Seth Jarvis, second overtime game winner.
All right, so right now you're at number 1. You've got that Seth Jarvis double overtime winner. At number 3, you have the Jackson Blake overtime winner for the sweep against Philadelphia. And at number 4, you have the Mark Jankowski game tying goal from that Stanley Cup Final Game 2 against Vegas. Next one I'll give you here, going to be fresh in the mind. This is the Jordan Staal eventual game-winning goal from last night's Game 4 in the third period. Once again, the call from Mike Maniscalco.
No giveaway. Jarvis goes in backhand and Hart with the save. Oh, Jarvis all alone now, back out in front for Stahl. A backhand, he scores! He scores again! Oh my goodness, the captain is unreal, his second of the game, and the Hurricanes have got a 4-3 lead with 13:28. Oh, captain, my captain, Jordan Stahl, writing a story in the Stanley Cup Final.
That's number 2. Maybe it's recency bias, but to me, Jarvis and Stahl, the 2 goals you just gave me, are in the appropriate order, but they're 1A, 1B. I think the Stahl goal that you just played is really a story in 4 parts, okay? There's the turnover by Vegas and the Jarvis opportunity, which he does not convert. That's like Act 1. It's a 4-act play. Act 2 is what Jarvis does in response, which is he had a great A, unbelievable, could have been a hero, go-ahead goal opportunity, doesn't score. Rather than punching the boards, rather than hanging his head, rather than muttering every curse word he knows to himself, he just stays on it. And he immediately gets into the battle for the puck, finds its way to Ehlers. Every time Ehlers scores a goal this series, I'm tempted to stand up and yell, "That's why you pay Nick Ehlers." You know what? That pass is why you pay Nick Ehlers. He is just an offensive vision savant. So often he makes a pass, and I go, "What is he doing?" And it finds its way to the tape of whoever he is trying to set up. That one, he said in the postgame, he wasn't sure he got the pass through. He wasn't sure it was on target enough, but it was just barely. And then, so that's 1, the missed opportunity. 2, the stick-to-itiveness from Jarvis. Act 3, the pass from Ehlers. And then Act 4 is just a relentless, never-to-be-denied Jordan Stahl. Graceful, maybe not, but effective for darn sure. Just over the outstretched glove of Carter Hart, and it ended up being the game winner, and it got to have it game 4. That's the number 2 on my power ranking.
Yeah, I think that one will go down. I mean, a lot will probably depend on how these last 3 potential 2 or 3 games play out, but that goal could go down, and just the image of Jordan Stahl down there on the ice with his hands up celebrating could go down as an iconic moment. Head
down, the word goal across the top of the screen. You can see how it meant something to him, and I almost think he wanted to celebrate more, but he recognized a 1-goal lead with that much time means nothing in this series, so it was a more subdued but meaningful. How can you not be romantic about sports?
Oh, yeah. All right, so this last goal will go in your 5 spot is the Nikolai Ehlers overtime winner in Game 2 of the conference final against the Montreal Canadiens. One final time, here is the Mike Maniscalco call that could have been heard right here on 99.9 The Fan.
Now the Canes pushing it back up again. Here's a chance. It's over! Game over! Carolina wins it in overtime! Nikolai Ehlers does it again! We're tied at 1, going to Montreal for Game 3!
So your blind ranking of Hurricanes playoff goals goes as follows. Number 1, you have the Seth Jarvis double overtime winner in Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. Number 2 is the Jordan Stahl game-winning goal from the 3rd period of last night's Game 4. Number 3, the Jackson Blake overtime series winner in Game 4 of Round 2 against Philadelphia. At number 4, you have the Mark Jankowski game-tying goal in the 3rd period of Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final. And then number 5, that goal you just heard, Nikolai Ehlers overtime winner against the Canadiens in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. Would you have it listed this way if you had all the options presented to you at the start?
I think there's one obvious thing I would change, and it's crazy because it was an overtime series clincher. I'd take the Blake overtime goal, put it 5, and bump up Jankowski and Ehlers.
Yep, that's exactly what I would have done as well.
The Blake overtime goal, putting that 3, at the time, it almost felt like, am I really putting a series clinching overtime game-winning goal not in the top 2?
I think it might have more to do with the fact that I don't think it truly ever felt like Philadelphia was going to win that series.
Agreed.
So it was more or less like a confirmation of, okay, like they finally got it done. Of course, it was exciting in the moment to get it done. And maybe it would have been a little more aesthetically pleasing like if it went straight in, like bar down, instead of like hitting the glove and like bouncing over and trickling over the line. But I mean, they've had a lot of exciting goals these playoffs, so it's kind of a hard standard to keep up with.
Listen, I'm in favor of treating every play like it could be your last and every game like it could be your last. Nobody was describing Game 4 against Philly as must-win for the Carolina Hurricanes. The 4 other goals you gave me were all in what I think would be fairly described as must-win games for the Carolina Hurricanes.
Oh, yeah. The Ehlers one in Game 2 of the conference final, you have to remember, like, they're coming off that tough loss in round 1 where they just fell apart defensively early and got blown out, and then it's tight going there in Game 2. If you lose that game, all of a sudden you're down 0-2 and going on the road, and things definitely don't feel as good. And who knows if they're able to win both on the road and win that series in 5 if it doesn't play out like that.
And equally as impressive, and maybe this amplifies the game winner, the Ehlers game winner, was the goal he scored in the third period, where it was 1-on-2, and he just found a way with the little wraparound backhanded deal. I mean, that goal was incredible. So it really was the culmination of, like, that's why you pay Ehlers night. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why, but that night was for sure one of them. So, the Blake overtime Philly series winner should be 5. Bump Jankowski up to 3. Ehlers up to 4. Jarvis and Stahl, for now, I think they're a pretty safe 1 and 2 seed. We'll see what happens in Game 5 tomorrow, Game 6 over the weekend, and if needed, Game 7, which, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for some big goals to be scored. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know what? Let's push HurriCons and Cons into the next segment right now with just a few minutes. A little NBA Finals talk. I saw this question being asked. I don't want to ask it, but I want to explain why. Which series has been better, Stanley Cup Final or NBA Final? If you like both hockey and NBA equally, the Stanley Cup Final has been better. It's unfair to the NBA Final to make that comparison because the NBA Finals have been very, very good. They've been exciting. They've been close games. They've had narratives.
Comebacks and runs.
That just hasn't quite been as, fever dream as the Stanley Cup Final has been.
It wasn't as aesthetically pleasing of a game in Game 3 either. I mean, whether you think it was, justifiably so or not, there were a lot of whistles there, and it was a little bit one-sided. I'm not saying that the refs were favoring San Antonio because there was a lot of physicality in that game that would lead to fouls, but you like to see a little bit more of a wide-open game, back and forth, rather than, more of a free-throw contest. But I felt like San Antonio was bound to win that Game 3. I didn't think they were going to go down 3-0. I think they're too good of a team with too much talent to fall down 3-0, even though the Knicks were red hot and hadn't lost for 45 days or whatever it was.
It has a million storylines. It's exciting. It's Wemby. It's the Knicks history. It's the whole thing. It's been really fun. It's been really fun. As one of our NBA guys here around the office, Max, who you got?
I think NBA guy is a little bit generous, but
well, I'm just saying, if there's an NBA conversation we're having and we're shooting the
I'm
breeze,
at least aware of it. I guess
you're in the mix.
It just tonight or in terms of the series as a whole?
Series. Actually, both tonight and the series.
That's a tough question. Honestly, I think San Antonio might even it up tonight. I think that they can ride the wave of getting that win in Game 3. I think they're a little fortunate to not have that foul get upgraded on Wembanyama from the last game. There was a chance that the shove he had on Brunson could potentially get upgraded to a flagrant. He's already got a few, and if you reach a certain number, it's an automatic suspension. So they avoided that. I don't think NBA referees are ever going to upgrade that and risk taking Victor Wembanyama out of a finals game. But nevertheless, I think they ride the momentum of the tough, gritty win from the other night and even it up. I think the Spurs. I think the Spurs win the series. I hope this one, like the Thunder and Spurs series, I hope it goes to 7 games again. And I think if that's the case, I think the Spurs just eke it out. But I'm hoping we continue to get a great series, much like the Stanley Cup Finals, where it's just back and forth action, edge of your seat, and no lead is safe.
If the Knicks lose this series, it's going to go near the top of the list of Knicks heartbreak. As a Sixers fan, I would kind of enjoy that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, HurriCons and Cons. What are Max and I most confident about for the Carolina Hurricanes coming off Game 4? And what are we most concerned about? You can answer as well. Jump in our YouTube live stream, live chat in that comment section. What are you most confident about, and what concerns you the most about the Canes coming off last night's win? Again, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe while you're there. Back after this.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for Loan Pronto. People, credit card interest rates, they're now over 29% in a lot of cases, and most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved, and they saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out of pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows, so act now. Go to loanpronto.com and see how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
One goal.
Let's go, Canes!
Hall coming in, backhand, Dovership, Blake to the rebound, he scores! Oh, the Hurricanes are just pouring it on!
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Let's go, Canes!
Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis, go get the Giants!
Your official home for the Eastern Conference champion Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends. Give me a
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
It's a hot spot on your dog's leg. But the internet says you can treat it at home. You're not sure though, 'cause now it's oozing.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Ooh, he's licking it. Super gross, dude.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Still got the NBA Finals, and new customers can hit the court with $350 in bonus bets guaranteed after betting $5 for 7 straight days. FanDuel, best place to bet your favorite player props during the NBA Finals. Play your game any way you want, and best of all with FanDuel, you get paid instantly, cash money, or at least virtual money. FanDuel.com/local, FanDuel.com/local, and new customers, a 7-day wagering streak gets you $350 of FanDuel money. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. Minimum $5 wager required for 7 consecutive days. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by All-Star Dog Training. You've seen their dogs featured in college and professional sports. They can train your dog, too. Visit allstardogtraining.com and schedule your free evaluation today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is just sports news that is going to drop some of your jaws, and I don't even fully understand it. But before we get to HurriCons and Cons, and I promise we will in this segment after pushing it last segment, Adam Schefter is reporting that Patrick Mahomes has added, and obviously the Chiefs as well in their negotiations, Patrick Mahomes has added 2 years to his contract, which will tie him to Kansas City through the 2033 season and ups the total value future to $504.75 million, making it the first NFL deal valued at over $500 million per Adam Schefter. I'm just going to read from the ESPN article here because I don't like. I'm sure if I took a class on it or if I really buckled down and spent hours and hours, I could make sense of the NFL salary cap and how these contracts work and what's new money, what's void years, and you know, how much of this is actually guaranteed, practically guaranteed. But I don't think I need to. So I'll just read you 3 sentences here from the article, and you can do with it what you will. Now that the extension has been agreed upon, Mahomes can make up to $522.25 million through incentives and escalators through 2033. Beginning in 2027, where the new money begins, the deal averages $64 million per year, setting a new NFL record for average annual value. This is the third time in 6 years the Chiefs and Mahomes have reset the quarterback market, and all 3 of those contracts were led by Cabot and Veach. The last part irrelevant. Here's the real the real kicker. Here's the highlight line. The Chiefs have now committed $689.05 million in new money to Patrick Mahomes from 2022 to 2033. In 11, and he was whatever, the draft class was like 2017 or whatever. So he had probably already received, I don't know, 15, 20 million on his rookie contract by the time all of this new money started kicking in. So from the beginning of his career through 2033, if he does receive all of this money, and it appears it's all basically rolling, meaning, you know, this year, 3 years from now in the future becomes guaranteed. If he can remain on the Chiefs through 2033, he'll have made over $700 million in his NFL career. $700 million. If we assume he's well compensated for State Farm commercials and you know, his stake in the Royals is going up and everything else, we may be talking billionaire pretty soon. Maybe talking billionaire pretty soon. And I'm assuming, you know, Travis Kelce will tell him how to start a podcast when things start winding down, and that'll go gangbusters as well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's just, I mean, it's not a ton of relation to the teams we care about here. Perhaps future of some quarterbacks from the area, Drake May, CJ Bailey if things go well, but goodness, that's a lot of money. All right, let's get to HurriCons and Cons here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly. It is, what are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about for the Carolina Hurricanes post-Game 4 win, series tied 2-2 in the Stanley Cup Final? You can let us know in the YouTube comments. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Jump in the live chat there on the live stream. Max, why don't you go ahead and lead us off? We always do bad news first. What are you...
To play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
I was so excited I was jumping the gun. We always start bad news first. What are you most concerned for the Carolina Hurricanes?
Still a little bit of concern in terms of the defensive core. I know there's a lot of conversation online right now about maybe Jacob Slavin doesn't quite look like himself, which it's kind of the flip side of when we got to the start of the playoffs, because we talked about how even he himself said he actually felt a little bit fresher than normal heading into the postseason because he had missed those games in the regular season due to the injury that he suffered in like game 2 of the regular season. But who knows if he was truly able to fully heal from that, but just feels like they're still giving up a little bit too much in terms of rush chances for Vegas, breakaways, things like that. And if you look at the first goal from Vegas, and obviously there's some sort of defensive breakdown that occurs whenever there's a breakaway, but it was a really nice play from Shea Theodore and Mark Stone to connect on that, but still, just feels like Vegas is still kind of getting behind them a little bit too much on the defensive side. Would love to see them tighten that up and avoid letting Vegas kind of get through with speed like they have been, and hopefully just keep them to the outside and suppress the shots, much like we saw more so in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's jarring when 74, when Slavin isn't Slavin, right? And that bar is exceptionally high. But if we're worried about, I'm not going to be worried about Slavin. I refuse, right? He'll figure it out. And I think he actually did figure some things out. He played better in the third period than he did in the first.
Yeah, I'm not even necessarily worried, but there's just been a lot of lapses for everybody, really. Like the second period of the game on Saturday against Vegas, and second periods in general, that's another concern by itself. But at least just focusing on the defensive side of it, I mean, I think that second period they played Saturday was probably the worst defensive period of hockey the Hurricanes have played that I can remember, really. I was going to say since,
Game 1 Montreal was kind of rough.
But I guess that's the exception, too. It's just those 2 periods in particular just absolutely sank them in each of those games, even though they had a really valiant comeback attempt in the third period on Saturday. But just don't want to see, those snowballing effect, right? Like, you let one go, there's another chance and another chance. Like, you have to be able to mentally reset after giving up some of those odd man rushes, and hopefully they'll be a little bit sharper. And they were good in the third period last night as well. So, and after the Mark Stone goal, too, it wasn't even really like odd man rushes or breakaways. It was just kind of, really nice plays by Vegas in the offensive zone, to either coming around the net or Howden came in and made a nice toe drag release. And I think it was Sean Walker that kind of got caught a little bit deep on that last goal and didn't quite get fast enough on the back check to limit Howden. So, again, just avoiding letting Vegas get through the neutral zone with speed and getting those rush chances. That's my concern.
Nikishin also. He's
had some rookie moments, for sure.
Yep. My concern, goalies. I know Bussy's been good. I know it was exciting. I know it was the story. I mean, who's the backup? Who's the starter? What's up with Freddie? I hope everybody by now knows I'm not changing. It's goalie every single time. It has to be goalie every single time. And I'll be like, I would be lying if I said, especially going into Game 4. As much as I believed Bussy was the right move, it was the correct decision, it was still a guy making his first postseason start and a guy to have at Game 4. And also, if he's the guy in Game 5, you know, he might have a chance to look around and see what's happening. He's kind of been on, a bullet train for the last 3-4 days. If he gets to look around, who knows what happens. So I'm still concerned about the guys in goal. What are you most confident in when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes?
Scoring depth. We saw the Stankoven, Blake, and Hall line continue to do what they do last night. 2 goals early in that game. They're always buzzing out there. Jordan Stahl turning back the clock. Goal in every game of the Stanley Cup Final. We've seen contributions kicked in from Mark Jankowski. We've seen contributions from other depth players at times. It's really the depth players, honestly, have produced more of the scoring than your traditional top-line guys in Svechnikov, Aho, and Jarvis. And when it comes to those 3, like Aho specifically, too, has been really good last couple of games in creating chances with assists as well. I thought it was a shame Jarvis was not able to get credited with an assist on the Stahl game winner, because his effort after getting stopped on the deke attempt to get the puck back to Ehlers, even though it went off a Vegas stick, it was Jarvis staying with the play that allowed them to get the puck back and allowed Ehlers to make the assist. I think it's going to be, if anything, it's just a matter of progression to the mean for those top guys. And when you know that they're eventually going to get going and you keep that faith, to know that you have all these other depth guys that are chipping in Eric Robinson has had 3 big playoff goals over this run. And then, the team is known for getting goals out of their defense as well. I would love to see Nikishin score. I'm begging for a Nikishin playoff goal because that would just be a super hype moment for myself personally and for a lot of Canes fans. But there's so much scoring depth on this team. I mean, highest scoring team in franchise history in terms of the regular season. And now they're 2 wins away from the Stanley Cup, largely because they're able to score in bunches. I mean, they've scored 4+ goals in each of these games in the Stanley Cup Final. So if they can keep up that scoring down the lineup and then manage to get just a couple of goals from the top guys they leaned on during most of the regular season, that's why I'm confident in them moving forward, because they're scoring all over the lineup.
Nothing gets the people going like 95+ miles per hour from Alexander Nikishin.
He could have had it, too, at the end of Game 1, if not for a Mitch Marner potentially accidental shot block.
I refuse to believe that's anything but accidental. My confidence, and some of you might not agree, and I know that because you've disagreed with me, it's Sebastian Aho. The fact that everybody is crushing him right now, and when I say everybody, I just mean a vocal part of the Carolina Hurricanes fan base, and over his last 6 games, which are, the 3rd and 4th win of the Eastern Conference Finals, and this run of 4 games in the Stanley Cup Final, he is a point-per-game player. He is a point-per-game player through 4 games of the Stanley Cup Final, and you would think he's playing horrendous, which I'm not even going to disagree with you. Let's say that is horrendous for Sebastian Aho. Do you realize how good you have to be that horrendous is a point per game? And also, I refuse to believe, I refuse to let myself even wander that he's going to have 20 games of a postseason without having a handful of moments where we go, that dude's great.
At the keep-in on Saturday night that led to the game-tying goal. And the hand-eye there. And he had the assist to Hall earlier in the period
unbelievable
as well.
Moment. The what was it? The game-opening goal in game 4, was it, of the Eastern Conference Finals? The tone setter in the 4-0 victory. He's had his moments. I think the exclamation point is coming at some point. I think it has to, but I think he's ready. Don't forget, right? He's now adding on to it with the point last night. He's the first player in the history of the NHL to start his postseason career, meaning his first playoff, he had 10 or more postseason points, and he had it in every single postseason for the next 8 consecutively. Think of all your greats. They didn't do it. He's the only one. So, and including this year. I think it's a joyous occasion to be 6 points in 6 games in the last 6 games through the Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final and have that somehow be disappointing. And I don't think we're going to be disappointed moving forward. I think he's got something up his sleeves for all of y'all. Speaking of something up your sleeves, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. It's not up my sleeves. I'm wearing short sleeves, but it's on my wrist. G-Shock Mudmaster. You can check out the G-Shock selection of watches at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And right now, actually starting up here in about a minute, at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop at the Village District location in Raleigh of Bailey's Fine Jewelry, there is a Norcane watch event going on. So as the hockey world gets as excited as possible with what's going on the ice, the Norcane watches, which are the exclusive luxury sports watch of the NFL, are celebrating with a new NHL watch that is launching at an event that is starting up right now at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop in the Village District in Raleigh. From 5 to 7 p.m., they're having an event with ice cream, fan favorite flavors, specialty Carolina hockey cocktails, plus attendees will have the chance to win hockey swag throughout the event. So go try on the watches you're dreaming of, try on the Grail watches, try on the new Norcane, and interact with hockey fans that you'll have a lot to talk about with. If it is a watch and hockey event, that Venn diagram where that overlaps, there's a lot of people that I get along with. So it's going on right now, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break when we come back, starting 5 time. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
It's bow time. Ordering Bojangles Bow Bites is the easiest choice you'll make today. The bite-sized hand-breaded chicken is fried to crispy perfection, making it perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go. Just don't call it a nugget. The only hard part is choosing from our 6 dipping sauces. We've got a sauce for every kind of craving, from our creamy house-made ranch to our sweet and spicy peach honey pepper sauce. It all depends on what kind of mood you're in. Head to your nearest Bojangles today and discover the dippable, shareable, and craveable Bow Bites. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to head on over to Bojangles to try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. Bite-sized, hand-breaded chicken fried to crispy perfection. On the go, they're perfect for snacking or sharing. Dipped in your favorite sauce like creamy house-made ranch or peach honey pepper, they're the perfect way to satisfy your craving for flavor and value. Try Bojangles' new Bow Bites. It's an easy choice to make when it's bow time.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd to the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, it's Dennis with a Men's Health Month hot tip. Want to go home a hero? Schedule a preventive CT scan at Craft Body Scan. It's an excellent preventive health tool, and if you do it without being told to, that's one less time she has to remind you to go to the doctor, so you come out looking like a champ. With just a 5-minute scan at Craft Body Scan, you can get a comprehensive cross-sectional CT view of your major organs, see if there's anything you need to address like heart disease, tumors, or conditions that your doc can't see. Then you can talk to your regular doctor and get early treatment. And if your scan comes all clear, even better. You've taken the initiative to protect your health and peace of mind for both of you. I'm telling you, this is hero stuff. Look, early detection helps save lives every day, and the Craft Body CT scan is an excellent, affordable way to get a comprehensive check. Even better, take her along. Right now, get a couple's heart and lung scan for just $99 total when you use the promo code TheFan50 at craftbodyscan.com. That's promo code TheFan50 at craftbodyscan.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Canes light the lamp here.
WREL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. It's a hot day out there. Temperatures in the low 90s this afternoon. And then overnight tonight, it's partly cloudy, a low of 73. Dangerous heat arrives Thursday, so we have a weather alert day. The high gets into the upper 90s, the heat index around 105.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones closes down 953 points today to 49,918. This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Once again, a reminder, tomorrow, Game 5, Stanley Cup Final. Right here, 99.9 The Fan. Series is tied 2-2. Coming home to Carolina, or the Carolina Hurricanes. Vegas is They're following them. They're also going to be there in the Lenovo Center tomorrow night at 8. Assuming the weather allows us, we'll be outside the Lenovo Center getting ready for the game, doing the whole thing. First goal score predictions, hopefully interacting with some fans, some listeners, getting you ready for the game. So tune in tomorrow right here at 99.9. With that being said, let's jump into the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turning with it's Theodore. Theodore shot through traffic. Bussey gets a piece. Loose puck. Still to the side of the net of Bussey. A chance to clear. It bounces out, and it's going into the empty net. Bingo! Carolina has gone up. Nikolai Ehlers is the one who gets the bounce with 54.8, and it's 5-3 Carolina. Yes, Trip Tracy, there is an empty net goal in Vegas.
That's how it ended. The first multi-goal win for either team of the series, because Nikolai Ehlers got a friendly bounce off the road boards for the empty netter. Through 4 games. Listen, I grew up, part of my childhood I was in Hawaii, okay? My grandparents lived here, but I was in needless to say, a warm weather climate. So I didn't grow up playing hockey. Didn't grow up playing ice hockey of any kind. I'm not the historian that many are when it comes to hockey fandom. I came about it later in life, and I'm in. But those that are historians, those that do know how to pronounce every name from the 1964 whatever cup team, they're telling me this could be the best series in Stanley Cup Final history. They're telling me with the ridiculous comebacks, with the ridiculous swings in momentum, with the storylines, with all of it, when you're talking entertainment factor, could be the greatest of all time. It's on pace through 4. You want to go back to like 1993 and tell a diehard hockey fan that perhaps the greatest Stanley Cup Final of all time could be played between a team in North Carolina and a team in Nevada? I would say this, once you say it, duck, because hockey fans back in the day used to be a little bit more rough and tumble, and also they hated the idea of Southern hockey. But it's proven pretty awesome. I think the two teams have shown well for themselves. Let's talk Game 4, because the win over Vegas in Game 4 is technically what number 5 was supposed to be here in the starting 5. It's exactly what we expect. Isn't it crazy that we can be completely surprised by how incredible of a game it was? And looking back, it's exactly what we said to be prepared for. Through 3 games, this has been one of the highest scoring Stanley Cup Finals in history. We should be prepared for a shootout. Through 3 games, every game has featured a multi-goal comeback that has at least tied the game up in the 3rd period. That's exactly what happened. Through 3 games, these teams have traded wins back and forth. That's exactly what happened. You go back and listen yesterday. The Canes have been the best team on the road this postseason by winning percentage. They won on the road. Carolina has not lost back-to-back games since January 12th and 13th. They didn't do it again. Yet watching the game, you couldn't predict what was going to happen on the next shift, let alone the entire game. It played out exactly how it has been playing out, and it was still as wildly difficult to predict as possible. Canes have been awful in the second period this series. They were awful in the second period of Game 4. They were great in the 3rd period. They were great in the 3rd period. It's insane how predictably and then completely unpredictably it's played out at the exact same time. Brandon Bussey in net. What did Brandon Bussey do all regular season? He won 31 games. What did he do? He just made just enough plays. How many times did he win games by 1 goal? How many times did he maybe there was a rookie mistake there, maybe there wasn't. He's been playing solid, maybe a little out of position, maybe played the puck poorly behind the net. He did exactly what he's done all year. Just made 1 play more than the opposing team's goalie. Won the game. Won the game. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
North Carolina's first permanent professional women's softball team made its debut yesterday, the Carolina Blaze of the Athletes Unlimited Softball League. And not only did they make their debut, they got that dub.
Yep.
They got the win over, I believe it was the Portland Cascade.
Correct.
4-1. You're confirming things. What are the talking points here? I have a box score in front of me. I can let you know, but admittedly there were other sporting events going on that took my attention.
Well, I was going to the arena as well, so I wasn't able to watch. But Athletes Unlimited softball. Athletes Unlimited started as like a really interesting concept. If you've ever watched some of their games, it's like a women's sports league, and you can usually catch them. I've seen them on like ESPNU, ESPN2, like it's on the ESPN family of networks, and they've done a variety of other sports, but the format used to be a little different, where it was very like player-based. Like whoever had like the best performance in 1 week or like one session of games would like be a captain for the next one and draft their team, and it was all based on this player point leaderboard system. Now they're going to more of, for softball, they're starting this league, or they're adjusting this league now where there's actually teams and home bases. So last year I think there were teams. And it was kind of still player-based, but they do kind of like a barnstorming type of deal. They had some games down at Ting Park in Holly Springs as part of it in August last year. So now they've got these teams that are kind of more in home bases. There are 6 teams in the league now, including the Carolina Blaze, who are going to be playing most of their home games at the Smith Family Field, I believe is what it's called. It's Duke's home softball field over there in Durham.
Yep.
They're also going to play a select few at the DBAP, Durham Bulls Athletic Park, over the course of this season. It runs, I believe, until late July, the regular season does, and then I believe they'll have some sort of playoffs. But 6 teams in the league. They're not in first. They didn't score enough runs as whatever other team that's 1-0. Somebody, I think, scored 13 runs in their first game. But, yeah, Carolina Blaze adding to the North Carolina professional sports teams and to the teams in the Triangle as well. Maybe it's another signal over to Major League Baseball, like, hey, we want these base and bat and ball sports here in the Triangle.
It is it's a good time to be a pro team in the state of North Carolina. A lot of positive vibes. That's number 3. Sorry, that's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
It's a really good goal. It's Shabalala! Goal! Bafana! Bafana! Goal for South Africa! Goal for all Africa!
Take a quick break here from the starting 5 to let you know soccer's biggest event begins this week in North America. We'll have updates during the entire run, including previews of upcoming USA matches. The first for the USA, is this Friday as they go up against Paraguay. Our coverage of soccer's biggest event is presented by North Carolina Courage and Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care. Now back to the starting 5, where, what number were we on again? 3? 3 is the World Cup starts tomorrow. That's right, the biggest event in soccer starts tomorrow. It is Mexico versus South Africa tomorrow at 3 p.m. This is all Eastern time, I believe. And then 10 p.m., South Korea versus, is it Czechia? Okay, I earlier today I called Max like as one of our NBA guys around the office, and he fought back and said like, maybe not. Can I describe you as a soccer guy?
It's kind of somewhat the same idea, but I did use my first job in radio was working for SiriusXM's soccer station a couple of years ago.
You are a hockey or a hockey
somewhat
guy,
of a soccer
but you are
guy.
a soccer guy as well. Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia. Anything we need to know about them?
So the highlight that I played leading into this number, the starting five, that's actually from the first game of the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. That was against Mexico as well, and now those two will face off in the opening game, but it's flipped now. Instead of South Africa being the home country, now it's going to be Mexico at Estadio Azteca tomorrow afternoon. I mean, the atmosphere should be incredible. Mexico has the youngest player in the tournament is Gilberto Mora. He's 17 years old. He's kind of got like a Lamine Yamal kind of thing. So Lamine Yamal at Spain.
Sure.
For those of you who watched the Euros 2 years ago, which were also just incredible to watch, a really good tournament. Lamine Yamal, he's 19 now, but he was 17 in that tournament, and he's just this young superstar. Well, now Mexico's got this really young, great star player as well, so he's definitely a name to watch in that game. The atmosphere should be, again, incredible for that, and I'm excited for the U.S. to get going on Friday night. They have the potential to win their group. They're almost assuredly going to get out of the group stages and make it to knockouts with the new format of the World Cup. For those who are unaware, there are 48 teams instead of 32 now.
Mm-hmm.
Top 2 teams from every group make it. There are 12 groups, and then the 8 best third-place teams will make it to knockouts as well. So it's pretty hard not to make the knockout stage. Unless you have a really bad knockouts or a group stage and lose to everybody, it's pretty hard not to. I don't know if U.S. will make a deep run, but I made a little bit more of a fleshed-out World Cup preview. We put that on the 99.9 The Fan app and 99.9thefan.com if you want a little bit more information and some predictions, but I'm excited for it to get started. There's about to be a month and a half of international soccer games on every day, and for those of you that have the means to do so, I would definitely try to get out to a game. I would love to get out to a World Cup game while they're here, because who knows when we'll be hosting that again, if ever. I'm sure maybe way down the line, but the last time they hosted the World Cup was 1994, and that was 32 years ago. So
I am not a diehard soccer fan. The World Cup is awesome. The goal, I think, was versus Algeria in 2010.
Yeah, the Landon Donovan goal.
Bananas. Quick funny story on that. I was in college, and it was in the middle of the summer, obviously, so only athletes are on campus. We were there for summer session and workouts and everything. And one of our tight ends, it was his birthday, and his girlfriend said, "Hey, I'm flying. Like, his parents are flying in. He's got his buddies from home showing up. We're gonna throw a big surprise birthday party. We need to get him out of the house, out of the apartment for a couple hours so we can set up and get everybody there. Can you guys get him out?" We're like, "Sure. The World Cup's on. We'll take him to a bar. We'll watch the World Cup game." And we're like, "We'll watch the first half or whatever." We start getting texts from the girlfriend like, "All right, bring him back." By this point, he has, I don't even know where he got it, American flag wrapped around his neck like a cape, and it's a 0-0 game, and you got to have it. And he's going like, USA, USA. And we're going like, "All right, we're good here. Let's head on back." And he's like, "No, why would we go back? This is awesome." We're like, "All right, no, we really want to get back." He's like, no. And he's ordering rounds, and he's doing the whole thing. And his girlfriend is now texting us like, his buddies are in town for like 14 hours. Like, get him home. We need to surprise him. We need to start the party. The food is here. It's getting cold. And we're going like, "Dude, we got to go." He's got his arms around people he doesn't know. USA. We end up staying at the bar despite, like, borderline, he's a big dude, like, trying to grab him and just drag him out. We finally get home, get to his apartment, and as we walk in the door, surprise! And you see him sober up in real time, right? Because we're high off the goal, right? We just watched Landon Donovan score. Everybody's in. He's walking in. USA, USA. I believe that we will win. We walk in. He sees the party. He sobers up immediately, and he looks at us and goes, I'm a bleep hole," because he recognized that he was being really mean to us. Like, "Why in the world would I leave? You guys, you're trying to ruin the fun." Turns out we were trying to get him back to a party for him. That's what I'll always remember, and that goal was awesome. That was number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. Wembanyama comes out. Shot clock at 4. Now the dribble. Shot clock winding down. Castle has to put it up. Bang! Stephon Castle from 3-point range. And it's a 7-point Spurs lead.
So there is a NBA Finals also going on, not just a Stanley Cup Finals going on. Big win by San Antonio a couple days ago. Gets it to 2-1. Game 4 is tonight. New York at home, 2-1 lead in the series, meaning the Knicks. San Antonio need a win. It's starting to get chippy. Starting to get a little rowdy. Some wanted some calls on Wemby. It didn't happen. It is what it is. The tickets to get in are like $3,500 get in price right now. So if you're a normal person, watch it at home and enjoy a really good NBA Finals tonight. Hopefully a really good NBA Finals tonight. Matchup predictor on ESPN has 57.4% Knicks.
And if you can't go to the game, you can listen to it right here on 99.9 The Fan.
There you go.
Pre-game coverage, I believe, is starting at 7:30. Tip-off is at 8:30. Every game of the NBA Finals right here on 99.9 The Fan.
I don't know if they did on purpose, but having like none of the crossover nights from the NBA Finals and the
Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup is pretty awesome.
They definitely did that on purpose because I think that the NBA released their schedule first, and then the NHL was like, well, let's just put our games on the days when the NBA is not playing. I mean, I think they kind of had to since ESPN.
Do you think they also
both,
did that with the World Cup? Because USA is on Friday. It goes tonight for NBA Finals, tomorrow for Stanley Cup Finals. USA plays on Friday. Then Saturday, it's back to the NBA Finals. Sunday, back for the World Cup.
I wonder if it was a consideration back in mind for the NBA when they kind of went first with releasing theirs, but they nailed it to not have it overlap with that Team USA game. It was an interesting time, too, with the game being at 9 p.m., but
so really,
I'll take it.
When you go back to last night and the night before, it's a really good 7-day stretch of sports.
And if you want to extend it out to the group stage and Stanley Cup and NBA Finals continue into next week, then it's the U.S. Open next weekend.
Ah, true.
And then it's Wimbledon after that.
Yeah, less exciting, but still true.
Depends on who you ask.
True. Everybody.
I like Wimbledon.
I'm not saying you don't like it. I'm saying it's not as exciting as some of the other things.
I'm just glad it's saving the summer. All this happening back to back to back to back.
And then it's football season in like 2 seconds and we're rolling. That is number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
Game 5 tomorrow night. We were just talking about it. Carolina Hurricanes, Vegas at home, Lenovo Center for the Canes. Let's put some perspective on it, okay? Because when you're in it, when you're deep in it, when you're caught up in a run, there's positives, there's negatives, there's arguments, there's your anger boils over occasionally, right? You may be disappointed with Jacob Slavin's performance. You may be screaming about where's Aho and Svetch. You may be, if he goes back to Freddie Anderson, I oughta. Think about where you are if you're a Canes fan. You have a 3-game series, essentially, with home ice in games 1 and 3 for the Stanley Cup. There is not a Canes fan among the group that would not sign up. There's not an NHL fan of any team amongst the group that would not sign up for that point blank, no questions asked, every year at the beginning of the season. Right? I often think this when it's tied going into the third period. Like I say to myself, win the third, win the game. Right? Win the third, win the game. And it's just a way to understand that everything that happened in the first 2 periods, it's irrelevant once the score is tied. Right? Maybe you made a mistake, gave up a goal. Maybe you had a chance and didn't finish. Maybe communication was off. Maybe you got caught in a bad shift. Maybe you lost a skate blade, and while you were sliding yourself over to the bench, something bad happened. Regardless, win the third, win the game. Same is true here. Win the 3-game series from this point forward. Win the Stanley Cup. Sure, maybe you lost Mitch Marner in Game 3, right? You were on the ice and you didn't know where he was, and suddenly he was wide open in the center of the ice. Maybe you had a bad turnover, led to a goal. Maybe you're Seth Jarvis, and since the overtime game winner in Game 2, you have like 3 or 4 just absolute grade A's that are haunting you because you weren't able to complete it. Irrelevant. Win the 3-game series, win the Stanley Cup. And you would sign up for that every single time, especially with home ice. Especially with home ice. I mean, we're going to talk Jordan Staal a little bit later on the show. When we talked to him a little bit earlier in the show, when we should be talking Jordan Staal a lot. I don't think it is a coincidence that he is the one doing a little bit of everything, scoring goals, winning faceoffs, defending. He's killing penalties without a hockey stick. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's leading. He's embracing the youth. He's doing it all because he is the one that recognizes you would sign up for this every gosh darn time because he had it as a youngster and probably thought it'd be happening more often. 2009. I just graduated high school the last time this guy was in a Stanley Cup final. I am now in my mid-30s. I have a couple of kids. I've been married for, that kind of life development has happened. He's out there squeezing every last ounce of impact on this game, this series that he possibly can. Because he understands to be in this situation is all you can ask for. Now you got to go win the 3-game series. And by the way, this is important to remember, Vegas is thinking the same thing. Vegas is sitting there saying, maybe even more recently, right? I said the Canes would have signed up for this at the beginning of the year. Vegas, with 10 games left to play, probably would have signed up to be down 3-1 in this situation based on how their season had been going. Changing coaches and everything. They're equally as understanding that these types of deals. I mean, think of Mitch Marner, right? That guy went through the whole rigmarole in Toronto. Now he's 2 games away from a Stanley Cup, just like Jordan Staal's 2 games away from a Stanley Cup. I'm looking at it as I'm good with I love analogies. I don't know if I'm good with them, but I love them and I pass them along to you. I'm looking at this like how my old offensive line coach used to think. He used to boil down blocking to very, very simple. He would just say, well, there's 2 big, strong men. The thing they want to do is the exact opposite. And you have to move them in the direction you want to move them against their will. Well, right now, the Canes and the Vegas Golden Knights, the thing that they desire the most is the exact opposite of one another because it's the same, right? The Canes, their desire is to make the Vegas Golden Knights Stanley Cup losers. And Vegas wants to make the Canes Stanley Cup losers, and you have to move them in the direction that you want against their will. And they are big, strong individuals too. Game 5 tomorrow at home. It's your barn, Carolina, the Lenovo Center. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're going to hear a quick message here from Dennis Cox, and then we'll grab our numbers game contestants. So get ready. Have your dialing fingers ready. Here's Dennis.
Hey folks, Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something I encourage all riders to do, especially in these hot summer months. Still make sure you're wearing the proper gear and the protective clothing that you need to make sure that you're safe out there on the road. I know it's tempting on hot days to wear short sleeves and shorts and those kinds of things, but as a motorcycle rider, you still need to protect yourself. There's plenty of clothing out there that you can wear that you can still be cool and breathable even on hot summer days while still keeping yourself protected out there on the road. Protect yourself in all times. Protect yourself in all situations as a motorcycle rider. You can do all the right things and accidents can still happen. This is where Law Tigers steps in to help you. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
It's time, everybody. We need numbers game contestants right now. Call in 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and potentially win yourself a pair of tickets to see Hank Williams Jr. at Coastal Credit Union Music Park later this month, June 20th. If you want to win the tickets, you got to play the game. If you want to play the game, you got to call in now. 919-860-5326. 5, 3, 2, 6. Numbers game next.
One goal.
Let's go, Canes!
Hall coming in. Backhand. Dovership. Blake to the rebound. He scores! Oh, the Hurricanes are just pouring it on.
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Let's go, Canes! Aho now to Jarvis. Jarvis. Go get the Giants.
Your official home for the Eastern Conference champion Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan.
When you own your own business, you own every decision. Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge. Big props to this team. Some decisions are a win-win, like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business, the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Bull riding contest. I'm signing up.
You've never ridden a bull.
No, but I won playing a new Bucks Loaded Edition scratch-off, and I'm on a roll.
But they're loaded with $50, $100, and $200 prizes.
Oh, I'm riding the Widowmaker.
Go for the win with new Bucks Loaded Edition scratch-offs and digital instants from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.72 to 4.75. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
It's Men's Health Month. WakeMed Primary Care wants to remind you to schedule your annual checkup. It's important to know your health numbers related to cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight and BMI before it leads to chronic diseases. Focus on your health and preventing disease by building healthy habits and getting that yearly checkup and those screenings that you've been putting off. To schedule your appointment, visit wakemed.org. Once again, that's wakemed.org.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly, and if you're like me, you're a storyteller, and you need to embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. So yeah, if we're sitting around watching the headliner, we want to be talking about when we saw him at the dive bar a few years ago. Or if you stop your friends mid-festival to look at the stars, first of all, do that to me. I love that sort of thing. And then embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing. Hazy, citrusy, smooth. There's a reason it's America's best-selling hazy IPA. Embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. Enjoy responsibly. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today, Hank Williams Jr. tickets coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park later this month. Our contestants for today, Tracy in Durham and Bear in Clayton. As always, we'll bring them each onto the show, ask them the same question. Max will be the judge for today. He'll pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. And we'll go from there. We'll start with Tracy in Durham. Tracy, can you hear me?
I can.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I absolutely can. The question for today that you need to answer is, we're going to keep it simple. Tomorrow, hopefully, we are outside the Lenovo Center, again, weather permitting, for Game 5. We'll be doing our show there outside the Stanley Cup Game 5. So the question is, what's the number one draft pick, your top overall tailgate food?
Oh, it's got to be barbecue.
All right. Any follow-ups there, Max? All right. You are locked in with barbecue. Tracy, you can sit tight. We'll go to Bear and Clayton. Bear, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Same question to you. Hopefully we're out amongst the tailgaters tomorrow ahead of Game 5, Stanley Cup Final action. Can you tell us your number one draft pick, your top overall tailgate food?
I'm going to go with some, jalapeno cheddar brats.
Jalapeno cheddar brats. Any follow-ups, Max? All right. Thank you very much, Bear. Max, you now get to make your decision. Are you rolling with barbecue or jalapeno cheddar brats?
Well, you Carolina culture and the hockey playoffs, you got to go with the barbecue. I appreciate the specificity from Bear with the jalapeno cheddar brats, but I'm a barbecue lover myself, so we'll have Tracy go first.
All right, Tracy goes first. Don't worry, Bear. You'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold for a minute or two. Tracy, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right, the categories are NFL, Panthers only. MLB, guys who have gone yard 3 times in a single game, meaning hit home runs. NBA players that played in the 2026 playoffs, or Hurricanes throughout history.
Hurricanes throughout history.
All right, I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. 1 second, or sorry, one pass if you need it. There'll be 30 seconds, not 1 second. One pass if you need it, and I will say the team in this category, even though you know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No questions.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Logan Stankoven, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Correct. Pyotr Kochetkov, Carolina Hurricanes.
52.
Correct. Roland McEwen, Carolina Hurricanes.
29.
Incorrect. Jake Bean, Carolina Hurricanes.
16.
Incorrect. Roland McEwen, Carolina Hurricanes.
44.
Incorrect. Jake Bean, Carolina Hurricanes.
14.
Incorrect. Roland McEwen, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. You had a lot of shots at it. It felt like that was a longer than 30 seconds timer, but it obviously it's the same one we always use. You got Logan Stankoven to 22. Pyotr, we would have accepted 52 or 90. He's worn them both. McEwen, we were looking for 55, and Jake Bean, we were looking for 24. So you got 2. That'll be the lead in the clubhouse. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. I'm going to stand by this forever. A former player that wore a number of a current player, you never get there. It's so difficult.
Funnily, it's a very niche thing, but my roommate, like Jake Bean, was actually like his favorite player because he saw him play in Charlotte when he was at the Checkers. And we went to a road game during COVID in Florida, and he scored his first career goal. So Jake, I'll always remember Jake Bean 24.
It's just 24 you're gonna go, no, that's Seth Jarvis every single time. It's a tough one, but got 2. We'll see if it holds up. That brings us to Bear and Clayton. Bear, are you there?
Yes.
All right, the categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, Panthers only, Major League Baseball, guys that have hit 3 home runs in a single game, and NBA players that appeared in the 2026 playoffs.
Let's go Carolina Panthers.
All right. Your confidence is overwhelming. I'm hoping you're sandbagging. I'll give you the... We'll all hope.
I was hoping it'd just be NFL, not just Carolina, but we'll see.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You do need at least 3 for the victory, and I will say the team, even though we know it in this category, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. J.C. Horn, Carolina Panthers.
8.
Correct. Sam Darnold, Carolina Panthers.
14.
Correct. Star Lotulelei, Carolina Panthers.
93.
Incorrect. Brandon Zylstra, Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
Zane Gonzalez, Carolina Panthers.
8.
Incorrect. Star Lotulelei, Carolina Panthers.
92.
Incorrect. Brandon Zylstra, Carolina Panthers.
0.
Incorrect. Zane Gonzalez, Carolina Panthers.
18.
You were in the right neighborhood for Lotulelei, and I think you were going to you knew Zane Gonzalez was a kicker, so you're in the market there. You got Horn, you got Darnold. Star was 98. Zylstra was 11 or 16. Gonzalez, number 5. Unfortunately for you, tie goes to whoever goes first, so you're not the winner, but hopefully you had some fun.
All right. Thanks, Tim.
All right. Thank you as well. And that means Tracy is the winner. Tracy, congratulations.
Thank you.
The difference was the barbecue. So, North Carolina would be pleased with that. Go ahead and stand the line, and Max will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize, and enjoy the concert later this month.
Thank you.
All right. It all came down to knowing Pyotr Kochekhov's number. That was the difference. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Kalshi. We all know it. You know it. I know it. The hunt for the Stanley Cup. Who not only is it on, but it's firing. And you can trade every game on Kalshi. You could have done it for every single playoff game, every single series, conference finals. And now, of course, you can go the home stretch and trade on the championship. Right now, I can bring it up for real-time updates. On Kalshi, the Carolina Hurricanes are trading at 57% to win the whole darn thing. And that means a $100 trade would pay out about $165, maybe $170, depending on when you get in, when you get out, if they take the big prize. Meaning, as the playoffs heat up, you can be making some money on Kalshi. Those numbers move in real time, by the way, and since you are trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, as those probabilities change, you can buy in and out of your position whenever you want. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code TIMD, T-I-M, like my first name, and D, like the first letter of my last name, with no spaces, T-I-M-D. Use that code to get $10 when you trade your first 10. K-A-L-S-H-I, Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restriction and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543. Visit morethanagame.nc.gov. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will put the big man in the spotlight. What has gotten into Jordan Staal? Next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I've never understood why the general public cares a lick about television ratings. Unless you work for the networks or maybe the league. Who cares if people in Winnipeg or Los Angeles or Miami are watching or not? Let them do what they want. We've got the Stanley Cup Finals. We got two of the best teams in the sport. Let's have at it.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's Men's Health Month. WakeMed Primary Care wants to remind you to schedule your annual checkup. It's important to know your health numbers related to cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight, and BMI before it leads to chronic diseases. Focus on your health and preventing disease by building healthy habits and getting that yearly checkup and those screenings that you've been putting off. To schedule your appointment, visit wakemed.org. Once again, that's wakemed.org.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 28 500 five-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, soccer's biggest event begins this week in North America. We'll have updates during the entire run, including previews of upcoming USA matches. The first, this Friday, as USA goes up against Paraguay. Our coverage of soccer's biggest event is presented by North Carolina Courage and Wake Orthopedics, your winning team for orthopedic care. Turn it up. Michael McDonald. Max Gorin. What are you, the treasurer of the Michael McDonald fan club?
Why am I only treasurer?
Well, I think you've been promoted from just a card-carrying member.
I'd say like chief marketing officer.
Okay, that's fair. C-suite. You're treating it like a business. I was treating it like a high school club where you just have a president and vice president.
There's not
and
many high school kids that are fans of Michael McDonald these days. I've found
the power structure you have as like a Fortune 500 company. I had it as like yearbook. Like
it's big business in the Michael McDonald fan business these days.
That's. I was just building your college application process. You're building a resume. Either way, Michael McDonald, you know you're going to get it the last break when Max is producing. Let's talk Jordan Staal. I was going to do a whole segue there, but listen, brute force and just powering through. That's Jordan Staal, so that's appropriate, right? We're not gonna tap dance our way into the conversation because that's not what he does. He plants himself in front of the goal and says, "I dare you to move me," and they can't do it. It's being like I like everybody else am just absolutely infatuated. I'm fascinated with the stats that he is putting up and the lists that he is putting himself on. Right? When you're talking 5 goals through 4 games of a Stanley Cup Final, in the modern era, it's Wayne Gretzky in 82 or 85, excuse me. Mario Lemieux in 92 and Jordan Staal this year. That's it. That's all. That's a crazy stat. You can go into so many more. He's what's the Mike Bossy stat, right? They're all simply him and like all-time legends. I can actually tell you exactly what it is. I have it written down right here. He became the first player with a 4-game goal streak to open the Stanley Cup Final since Mike Bossy did so in 82 versus the Canucks. So a legend at least 30 years ago. That's the criteria for somebody to do what Jordan Staal has been doing. But I don't want to just boil it down to numbers. Right? I don't want to be just Moneyball. I think the best way to look at sports is to do so through 2 lenses and mix them. Right? There's the advanced analytics where everything is a rate statistic, everything is a plus minus, everything is quantifiable, and then there's I was watching and this is how it happened. Right? There's 2 ways. I think that's the best way to run a front office. I think that's why the Canes have done so well with roster management. You have Eric Tulsky quantifying everything, the GM who has 27 patents and a bunch of advanced degrees, and you have Rod Brindamore who's like, no, I've been in locker rooms. I know what a winning player looks like. And you put those together and you get a team that's 2 games away from the Stanley Cup. So I'm going to do that as well. We could sit here and just talk about the stats for Jordan Staal. And talk about how his percentage of wins and faceoffs. And we could talk about what he did, the stats before Jordan Staal on the power play unit this year and the stats after Jordan Staal was joined on the power play unit this year. We could talk about the goal streaks. We could talk about it all. And we have. But I also want to say when you watch him play in this postseason, when you watch the captain play for the Carolina Hurricanes in this Stanley Cup Final, there is a relentlessness. There is a This might not be my game. I might not be the leading goal scorer on the team. I might not be or ever have been a 35 goal scorer. That might not be my game, but if that's what they need me to be in this Stanley Cup final, gosh darn it, I'm going to find a way. The look of somebody that spent 6,202 days between Stanley Cup final goals scored. Somebody that understands not only will this opportunity be very difficult to earn again, it might never come again. And not just for him because he's 37 years old, and right when you're 37 years old, your athletic career, even if you are a physical monster like he is, you see the end of the tunnel. Max, you're a golf fan. I am as well. I mean, at best, he's like putting on 16. At worst, he's like on the fringe of 18. You know what I mean? Like it's getting down to the end. But also he can look at he had a really poignant comment about Sebastian Aho. I think it was today to the media about how right when Aho showed up, that's when everything changed for us. That's when this rocket ship started going up, and his competitiveness, and he affectionately called it stubbornness. And he brought up how he, meaning Jordan Staal, said Staal plays to win for those guys. And Aho was one of them. So he's looking at the younger guys and probably seeing a younger version of himself. And he's not, by the way, in 2009, he wasn't where Aho is in his career, but he was similar to like the Stankovens and the Blakes in their career. And he's probably looking at them going, yeah, you probably do think you're going to get here 3, 4, 5 more times in the next 10 years, don't you? You foolish little 20-something. Maybe you will, but I wouldn't bank on it.
No, he was playing with prime Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby and Chris Letang and all them, and they went back-to-back, and they went to the final back-to-back in 08 and 09, but before he got traded to Carolina in 2012, they didn't make it back there to the final, despite having one of the top 10 players of all time on their team, and Geno Malkin that was still in his prime, and at times, honestly, was even better than Crosby at a couple of those seasons. That 2009 year, arguably one of them, but you never know. Even if your team is even that good, like you never know what can happen that can prevent you from getting back to this stage. So you have to absolutely make the most of it while you're there.
And not to mention, the Canes have a bunch of cap space. The Canes have a bunch of picks and prospects. Maybe the Canes will be back 2 or 3 times in the next decade. You might be the trade chip they had to send out to get their next big fish in the trade market, right? That like he was a trade chip eventually. It's. I think you can tell, and as much as everybody passes along the wisdom, it's hard-earned wisdom. Right? Every college athlete, the seniors give you the dramatic speech when you're a freshman, and you hear it and you try to take it in, but you don't really feel it till you're a senior. And in life, it just happens over and over again. Your parents talking to you about your kids growing up, right? You hear it goes fast, and you don't know it till all of a sudden you blink and your son is 5 years old like mine is, and it's like, where'd the time go? Like it's that wisdom that gets told but not heard. Jordan Staal knows it in his bones. Jordan Martinook knows it in his bones. Taylor Hall knows it in his bones. Freddie Anderson knows it in his bones. I don't think he cares if it's him or Bussy in net as long as they get their name on the cup, because he knows how difficult it is. Jordan Stahl's doing everything. Watch the game. I think you'll see it in his eyes why he's able to come up with all of those plays when needed. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If he's doing everything, so is Manor Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, whatever you need working on your house, Manor Service Company comes up with the play because they know how important it is to you. They can look in your eyes and tell. It is a great time to double check on some of your maintenance. You're about to be running that air conditioner darn near every day. Cooling maintenance is wildly important when it comes to your cooling system. So get Mainer Service Company out there to check on everything. Make sure it's not only running when you turn it on, like it's actively running, but also that it's running efficiently. Make sure you're using your energy as well as you can, as well as, getting the limbs and everything off your cooling system outside. The number to call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at MainerServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. And when you give them a call, tell them you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Before we go anywhere, we have Overdrive coming up next. We'll be, talking, I assume, some more Canes, because that's pretty much what we talked about today. But before we get there, I do want to let everybody know, NBA Finals tonight here on 99.9 The Fan. Enjoy that. Tomorrow, it's a hockey night in Carolina. Be thinking, if you haven't done so already, about who you think is going to score the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow. Could it be Logan Stankoven? He's done it 6 times this year in the postseason already. But also just be ready to enjoy it. If you're going to make it out there for the tailgate, if you're going to make it to a watch party, if you are lucky enough to have tickets in the Lenovo Center for Game 5 tomorrow, stop out, say hi to us. We expect to be outside the Lenovo Center doing our show. It's talk to a Canes fan from like 2014. They'll tell you how much you should appreciate today, or just talk to like a Jets fan. And I'm talking New York Jets. They'll tell you how much you should appreciate a chance at a championship. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you to Max for keeping us up and running today, stepping in for Dennis. Are you on the board for us tomorrow?
I don't think so.
All right, never mind then. I was going to thank you for that in advance. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Try to get some sleep. Have a great night.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons with Adam Gold and The Drive for our Cup check-in, served up by Carolina Ale House. We talk with hockey's best, past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup check-in on 99.9 The Fan, served up by Carolina Ale House. Carolina Ale House is the official Canes road game HQ. Join them for every game during the playoffs.
This is the sound of Jack, buzz cutting his way to a small fortune. To Jack, every time he cuts his own hair, that's $50 right in his pocket. If Jack sees DIY buzz cuts as a saving strategy, Wells Fargo is right behind him. And with their mobile app, tracking his savings is easy. Oh, ouch. However you make money work, we can work with that.
Mobile carriers' message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $12 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingnc